It's time for Massena Raider football on 92.9 WMSA. You can also catch tonight's broadcast via the WMSA mobile app. Download it and tell your friends around the world. Now it's time to send it over to Elijah Winfrey and Don Despaw.
We also have some other sponsors we want to thank. Donnie, go ahead.
The Seacom Federal Credit Union locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Malone, Ogdensburg, Plattsburgh, Watertown, South Burlington, Essex, Vermont. Check them out online at seacom.org or mobile on your smartphone. Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition, developing plans and strategies that will reduce and prevent substance misuse among, youth and adults in our community. And MX Fuels, 22 Center Street in Massena, providing quality fuels at great service, great prices. Yes, in Northern New York.
All right, I want to thank Donnie for the sponsors, but also thank everybody at the radio station who worked really hard to make sure we could be out here today to cover this Week 0 matchup between Massena and Saranac Lake. I caught up with Coach earlier in the week, Donnie, to talk about this very matchup. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
We're here with the first edition of the Massena Raiders Football Coaches Show. I've got Taylor Zappia with me, and we're getting ready for this Week 0 matchup. Kind of cool that we have a Week 0 matchup, but first and foremost, Coach, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming down to practice today.
Yeah, it was a little bit rainy, but we got it in.
Through it.
So tell me a little bit about this Week 0 matchup and where this kind of helps your team, because it's my understanding the team you're playing is a team you've scrimmaged against before, but maybe haven't had the chance to actually play a real game against.
Yeah, so we play Saranac Lake. We've been scrimmaging them for, way before I came around. So it's been a relationship that we've been lucky enough to have because they've always given us a good scrimmage every year. They're always a really good team out of Section 7. And when they let us play a Week 0 game a couple years ago, we weren't able to kind of coordinate the game the past couple years. But now that we were able to, on both sides, coordinate the game instead of a scrimmage, I really, truly think that we're going to get a ton more out of it. In my opinion, I think last year, looking back at that first Ogdensburg game, we made mistakes as teams, and I made mistakes as a coach that were kind of like game one mistakes, if that makes sense. And that if we have a Week 0 game, I make those in Week 0, we make those in Week 0. I mean, I would like to not make them at all.
Right, of course.
It's a very crazy game, right? So I'd love to make those, get back into the flow of that Week 0 game, that pressure that the kids feel and that the coaches feel instead of just a scrimmage, even though there's always that pressure. But I really, truly think that if we, last year, if we play a game, we might have, instead of losing by a point, who knows what happens,
Right.
If I make a couple different calls, if a couple, if we get used to that pressure of having a game instead of a scrimmage, because it's definitely different, as you know.
Yes, for sure. And as far as, going from year 1 to year 2, where have you feel like you've grown as a coach, and how do you feel about your coaching staff this year, and who are they?
Yeah, so my coaching staff has grown a ton. It's off the top of my head. I have a bunch of volunteer. Well, I have Coach Morrow, Jim Morrow, who's the defensive coordinator. He's my assistant coach. I have Michael Gardner, who helps on defense. I have Nate Bresser, who's a volunteer, who helps on offense. I have Maddox Mary. I have Jason Zembeck. I have Casey Simons, who I played with my senior year. I have Sean Fauché, who is an amazing athlete from Massena. So I have a whole bunch of volunteers, a great group of football minds. And I don't know what it's saying about me now is I coached most of these guys now. Actually, I think like 5 of them I coached. So and kind of stemming off that, this being my 11th year, you learn something new every year, and it's actually amazing. But I think what we're going to work on this year that I've kind of learned from last year and being the head coach of games is that we need to practice game management. We need to practice down and distance. We need to practice 2-minute and not just expect that I'm going to make the right offensive call and not going to, expect that these kids know exactly what to do in those situations if we don't practice it. So I know this year we're going to get the sticks out for practice. We're going to, run a true 2-minute situation and do these game scenario practice things that, instead of just running plays every single day, right, and not moving down the field, different hashes, which I've been guilty of in the past, going into, game situations and practicing that so everyone's kind of on the same page when it comes to that.
For folks at home, all right, and I kind of know how this feels, but I want to get your feeling on it. When you have to make that 2-minute call.
Yeah.
Walk us through what that feels like as you're trying to make sure you have everything together, right?
Yeah, who can catch and who can get out of bounds. No, exactly. On my play sheet, I call it my safety blanket because I have my, my call sheet at practice every day, and I have it at the games every day. But, the coaches make fun of me. Rarely do I, just read off of it, right? I do have it scripted. It's, I have a whole run home to mom section where if I really don't know what's going on, it's like I have it scripted and it's ready, but it's all the flow of the game. And these kids, they're understanding the offense and they're understanding the rules of the offense. And it's not just plays they're memorizing, in a sense. It's that they're memorizing rules, so we can make different adjustments and go off that, and we're not just memorizing plays. So I think kind of tying this all back in, 2-minute situations, it's going back to the basics, I think, and going back to what has worked and what will work for you.
So obviously I don't want to hone in on any one individual player because it takes a team to get it done. We all know that. But we also know you guys have one of the best to do it in New York State at quarterback this year, senior Connor Eastwood. Tell me a little bit about how he's grown and what you're seeing from him going into this senior season that you think folks should be excited about. Yeah,
the maturity, definitely. He showed me last year on the football field. He was a mature junior. He's very confident. He goes in there and he commands the offense, and all the guys have a lot of respect for him. But even over the summer, workouts and this preseason, he's shown even more maturity. And I mean, he's a grown man now, so he knows the offense. It's the first time in a long time that we've kept pretty much the same offense for more than 1 year. So he's comfortable with the offense. He's comfortable with the terminology. So yeah, he's definitely somebody. He's got one of the best arms I've seen in high school football. Yeah, I mean, he throws a baseball super fast, so he can throw a football pretty far too. So no, he goes in there. He's with the confidence and the confidence you need as a quarterback. He has it 100%. So we're excited to see what he can do.
So obviously lost 17 seniors last year. That's also another big story for your team. Yep. New faces, maybe not new places, because a lot of these kids come up from JV, which is awesome to be able to have that. Of course, Massena, one of the few teams that actually has a JV team still in our area. Tell us a little bit about what the impact of that means, having that JV squad, and give us some folks to look out for this season.
Yeah, so that JV squad last year, led by Tepani LeBrake, who's going to be, he's got big shoes to fill, literally and figuratively, with Deshaun Walton going to Morrisville State now. He's graduated, but he's now our H. He's an amazing athlete. One of the best athletes on the team, if not in the section. So I think he has been, in these past weeks, has been adjusting great. He was a quarterback on JV, so he knows the system. He knows how to fit into the system. So we got Tepani LeBrake. Kind of stemming off that JV team is the big thing that I saw is that, led by him, they learned how to win, right? And that's huge in football, as you know, is that you can be a great team, but if you can't figure out how to win, it's going to be a tough season just because you don't have a game every day where it stinks to sit in that loss for a week. So if you have a team that's coming up and knows how to win, you're not, I tell these guys all the time, it's like, you're not sure how you're going to win, but you're gonna. So that's the mindset we need to have, and that's the mindset that we found at the end of last year, and these JV kids had at the actually their whole season. So Tepani LeBrake's coming up.
I saw Carter King out there doing a good job.
Carter King is taking reps. I thought he might have been a tight end because he's strong, and I like to say he's tougher than a $2 steak. So I'm like, I need to find a place for this Carter King, and he took the ball and he started running with it, and I was like, okay, he's a running back. So he's been awesome. He just started playing football last year, so he's loving it. He's getting into it. We got Gage Charleston coming. He was backing up Colton Hardy last year, so he didn't get a ton of reps, but he's an amazing running back. So we got those two. We got Nathan Goulden coming up. So we got a three-headed monster back there if we need. I'm telling these guys to learn other positions because, as you know, you never know. I don't want you just to play one position. I want you to know everything so I can kind of get you in the game. But we got a good group coming up, definitely.
So, Coach, obviously we want to learn something, so that we're helping you out in the stands. Obviously, one of the most important things is don't yell at you, right? But secondly, tell us a little bit about either offense or defense that you want to teach us something here.
Yeah, so offensively, it's kind of if you watch college football, a lot of teams are going to this. We're running more of a zone run scheme. So basically what we're doing is we're stepping to gaps instead of kind of manning up on people and running set offensive plays. We're stepping to gaps, creating, depending on the play, we're creating vertical seams. And pretty much what we're saying is our guys are athletic up front. We're gonna create seams for our running backs. Our running backs are good enough to see the holes, and we're gonna drill it enough in practice. As far as offensively with the run game, yeah, it's a zone run game. And the big thing I tried to do last year, and I'm going to keep doing this year, is find different ways to give our athletes the ball in space, especially because I've always said the hardest thing to do in all sports is the open field tackle, especially if it's like a Garrett Weir or even an Eastwood. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to tackle someone athletic in space. So that's kind of the whole point of this offense.
Right, you kind of have that "Mama, I'm on TV" moment where your eyes get big and
Sure.
then you forget the fundamentals.
Exactly.
As far as this team you're playing, tell us a little bit about them. What can you tell us without giving away your strategy?
From what I've seen and what I've seen in the past, again, we're kind of going off the film we got last year, but obviously so are they. I know scouting wise, I believe they lost their stud running back, but I know they're going to have somebody else that jumps in there. I know they have a very tall safety. Can't remember his name, but he was a very good receiver, very tall safety, so we're going to have to figure out a way to stop him. I could, put all my money on that's who they're going to rely on offensively this year. I think he's a senior, so we're going to have to defensively figure out a way to stop him, either match him up or double team him or something. But we have a lot of options defensively with that, and thankfully we have a ton of athletes on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they're running man coverage. They're running man coverage in both games from last year, and I think in the scrimmage they were loving to run man coverage, and it was very easy to see, as most man coverages are. So we're going to have to throw some man beaters in there. And basically we're just going to have to say our receivers are better than your defensive backs. And I think toughness wins games. I think it's going to be the motto for the year, right? Grit and toughness at the high school level. The tougher team usually wins. So that's what I'm going to preach to my guys.
All right, Coach. Anything else you want Raiders fans to know as they get ready for this first game?
No, I just hopefully everyone's excited as we are to get this season going. It's been a long winter and a long fall, and just thanks for all the support to the community, and we're ready to go.
All right, that is Coach Taylor Zappia for your Massena Raiders. They are getting ready to go as the Red Storm approaches Massena.
And now we're gonna do a show called Chalk Talk. It's a little bit of strategies, basic strategies. Definitely will go on during this game. I know for Chalk Talk.
To help you understand the game a little better, here are some defensive terminologies to look out for today. Cover 2. Cover 2 means you got two deep defenders or safeties on the back side of the defense. So the farthest back from the ball, the two safeties. And those safeties are actually supposed to split the field in half, which is kind of a big responsibility when you think about it. So these two safeties will split the field 50-50, and they are responsible for anything really, really deep down the field. The strengths of a cover 2 is anything underneath will be difficult for the offense to hit, and so will any 5 to 8 yard mid-range passes. The weaknesses of a cover 2 are those sideline shots. So if you see a deep sideline throw, those are easier to do against a cover 2. And so is the middle of the field. The middle of the field's easier to attack whenever a defense is playing cover 2. Cover 2 Tampa is a little bit different. You still have those two safeties deep, but now on the start of the play, that middle linebacker is actually going to drop back in coverage to try to protect the middle a little bit better. That's the cover 2 Tampa. Cover 3 means 3 deep defenders. That means the DBs are splitting the field into thirds. The strengths of a cover 3 is the fact that they're stronger against the run because they have more bodies dedicated towards stopping the run with those 3 guys back there, back deep to defend the pass. Weaknesses of a cover 3 are your seam routes. So tight end routes, slot back routes, that sort of deal. Anything in the flat, flat routes, those are usually weaknesses for a cover 3, and so are slant routes. Cover 4, you may have heard cover 4 called quarters before, and that's actually a very accurate description of it, because there are 4 deep defenders at the back end of the defense, and they split the field into quarters. So that is why it's called that. Weaknesses, anything underneath or in the flats is generally open against a cover 4 defense. And you can also run a post over the top if you can confuse the safeties. Most teams that Massena will face this season play a cover 3 or a cover 4, and rarely you might see a cover 2, which is why we're talking about it. One other thing, when it comes to the quarterback position, the quarterback might be looking for middle field open or middle field closed. If your offense is purely progressional, meaning you are going to run the play you called regardless of a defensive coverage, this concept, middle field open, middle field closed, is not as important. However, if you are teaching your QB to identify the middle field open, middle field closed, what you are asking them to do is identify if there is a defender in the deep middle of the field or not. This is something the QB looks at pre-snap, and they are hoping that their pre-snap recognition gets a post-snap confirmation. If there is a defender in the deep middle, that means the middle field is closed. If there is no defender in the deep middle, that means middle field open, and that could mean that your receivers will have one-on-one chances on the outside. So to put a bow on this, if you're a quarterback and your coach expects you to actually read a defense, not just run plays, but actually read a defense, you might be looking for middle field open, middle field closed. Then you look at what coverage is the defense in. Then you also got to remember, probably most importantly, to have your big fellas in a position where they can actually protect you. And oh, by the way, you have about 3 seconds to figure this all out before you snap the ball. Just a little bit of perspective. It's time to meet this year's Massena Raiders varsity football team, the coaches.
Taylor Zappia, head coach.
Jim Morrill, defensive coordinator.
Michael Gardner, assistant defensive coordinator.
Jason Zembeck, running backs, outside linebackers.
Casey Simons, lineman.
Nick Morrill, receivers, corners.
The players.
Parker O'Neill, wide receiver and corner.
Dominic Austin, receiver, outside linebacker.
Donovan Turner, outside linebacker, wide receiver.
Connor Eastwood, quarterback.
Nolan Jensen, center.
Dominic Murtaugh, wide receiver, corner.
Daniel LeBrake, cornerback / receiver. Brandon Barnes, defensive end, guard.
Carter King, running back, middle linebacker.
Gage Charleston, running back, outside linebacker.
Darian Coates, offensive tackle, middle linebacker.
Ethan McComb, right guard, DN.
Nathan Golden, running back, outside linebacker.
Aiden Beckstead, wide receiver, outside linebacker.
Owen Sires, center.
Jake Lindstad, left tackle, defensive end. Garrett Weir, wide receiver, strong safety.
Cade Frigo, tight end, outside linebacker.
Rylan Dodson, left guard, defensive tackle.
Travis Burnett, wide receiver, defensive back.
Frank Lathing, wide receiver, defensive back.
Corey Jarrett, outside linebacker, receiver.
Thomas Benham, receiver, defensive back.
Cole Boder, offensive line, defensive tackle.
Keegan DeRushi, right tackle and defensive end.
Nolan Hurlbut, offensive line, defensive line.
Dominic Sherman, running back, defensive back.
Gordon McEwen, wide receiver, defensive back.
Jace Cargo, wide receiver, defensive back. Martinez, running back, linebacker.
Lennox Pierce, right guard, nose for defense.
Massena, I've got one question for you. Are you ready for some football?
Yeah, we are so ready. The game started a little bit early, so there we go. So Massena kicked off to Saranac. Saranac has got the ball, and they are going to have this at the, and we'll just wait a second here. Ball is going to be at the 41-yard line. So the 41-yard line of Saranac. And just real quick, Donnie, we were told pregame Saranac's got a 6'7" wide receiver named Marcus Navarra, so watch out for him. We're going to take the handoff here, and Willett is going to run up the middle here. He's going to get to the Massena logo near the 50, not quite the 50, and that is going to be a pretty good game there for the Saranac Red Storm.
6'7" Elijah.
Yeah, 6'7". He wears number 1. You can't miss him out there for Saranac. Right now, he's on the sideline. But they do have their quarterback, Evan Willett, running the offense for the Saranac Red Storm. He is back in the shotgun formation. Ball is right in the center of the field here. They're going to put a man in motion, hand it off to him. That man's going to come over here to the near side of the field and get tackled by number 10, Garrett Weir. That's going to bring up a third down and approximately 5, I want to say, for the Saranac Red Storm. 10 minutes here in this first quarter of play on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. Massena 0, Saranac 0. Saranac with a third down and I want to say 4 or 5 here for Saranac. So far, a lot of motioning somebody and handing it right off to that motion person for Saranac. The quarterback, once again, is in the shotgun formation. He's going to put number 21 in motion, going to toss it out to number 21. He's going to drop it, and I think that was a backwards pass, but Saranac was able to get on top of it. Jake Lindstad in the area there for Massena.
They will be kicking.
And it looks like, as Donnie just said, they will be bringing out that punt unit now for Saranac. Back deep to receive for Massena is Garrett Weir. If it gets that far, we will see. Looks like doing the punting duties for Saranac will be their quarterback, Willett. And here comes the snap. He's going to kick it. It's actually a deep kick. It's going to bounce one time to the 35, now go to the 30. Everyone's getting away from it like it's poison. And Massena will start their first offensive drive of this 2023 season from their 30-yard line. John Despaw and Elijah Winfrey on the call for you here for WMSA Radio. And again, this game scheduled for 1:30. They got going at about 1:25. So we know people are excited.
It all worked out.
8 minutes and 44 seconds here on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. 0-0 is the score, and Massena coming out on offense for the first time this 2023 season.
Elijah was Eastwood's going to throw for a goal. That's what I don't.
Donnie thinks we're going to see all sorts of throwing today. We'll see. Eastwood is kind of in a pistol look. Behind him is Carter King. We'll see. Is it going to be a running play? It looks like it is. Yeah. Carter King with the ball. Carter King running downhill and taking some Saranac defenders with him. They were at the 30. Now they're at the 35. That's a 5-yard gain for Carter King. By the way, second year of Carter King playing football ever.
Second year.
Pretty good start with a 5-yard kid. I believe he is a senior, if I'm not mistaken.
Second year. That's amazing. Wow.
So Potter Eastwood, bringing the troops back out here. He's got 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side. He is going to hand it off once again to Carter King. Carter King going to pound it up inside once again and get about 3 to 4 yards, as Donnie just told you. That is going to bring up a 3rd and pretty short. So short that if the center could, he could just reach it out and get the first down, but that's not legal. So, but again, to answer Donnie's question from earlier, Carter King is, in fact, a senior.
Second year playing football, period. So that's amazing. Wow.
So 3rd down and short here in Massena with 2 wide to the far side of the field, 2 to the bottom, and Carter King right behind Eastwood. He is going to hand it off to King once again. King coming downhill. I don't know that he got the yardage needed, though. We'll see.
Close, like, I think. Very close.
So we shall see.
And he's surprised 3 running plays in a row or not?
No, because I know that the coaches are very, very high on Carter King this year. They really like what he can do. Yeah. They also have other running backs, too, but Carter King obviously getting the start. And we'll see what they decide to do here. 4th and very, 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 very close.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder, you're at your own 40-yard line.
1 yard to go, maybe?
About maybe inches to go. They're actually measuring it right now to make sure. But in case Massena comes up short, it's 7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. 0-0 game. Ball's at your 40-yard line. I wonder, would you want to go for it? And they're stretching the chains out right now.
So it looks...
And it's actually going to be a first down.
Wow. Yeah. Fairly.
So a first down for the Raiders. That's pretty good. Hey, we'll take it. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here, as I said before, in the North Country Savings Bank first quarter scoreboard. John Despa, Elijah Wicker with you for WMSA Radio. We appreciate you joining us, whether you're joining us on the FM side at 92.9, the AM side at 1340, or if you're here in the stands, we appreciate it. Let's take a look here right now. It is first down and 10. Garrett Weir in motion. Weir's going to get a little pop pass to him on the motion, and Weir is going to take it for about a 10-yard gain, make that another first down for Massena. Now, Donnie, we saw that play a lot last season where they would motion somebody and the quarterback would literally just toss it to the motion man. Yeah. And that's actually not a handoff. That is considered a pass in high school football. So there you go, your first passing play. So here we go. Ball is on the far hash. Eastwood in what I'm calling the pistol. He's got a man in motion here. It is to Paney LeBrake. They're going to hand it off to Carter King, though, and Carter King going to try to bang it up inside. He is going to get taken down by number 62 and number 56 for Saranac Lake. Just give me a second to look that up here. 62, Aiden Evans in on the tackle for the Saranac Lake Red Storm. That is going to bring up a 2nd and about 9. 6 minutes and 14 seconds. This clock's already evaporating on
kind of a pound and ground.
I definitely think ground and pound for sure, my friend. Yeah. 2nd and 9, they're going to put LeBrake in motion. Eastwood going to toss it to LeBrake. LeBrake's got it. He's going to go to the 50, down to the 45, and get knocked out of bounds there.
So you were talking about...
I was talking about a play where they just motion to Paney LeBrake, who they're very high on. The junior, by the way, just motion him out and throw it right to him and let him use his natural speed and see where he can go. And right there, they got about 5 yards out of it. So we'll see what they do here, though. It is 3rd down and about 5 yards to go now. Eastwood in the shotgun. King by his side. Eastwood going to drop back, look to throw. He's got somebody out there. It's Murtaugh. Murtaugh with the catch. He is going to try to get free. He's already got the first down, and he's still running. He's doing a spin cycle out there to try to get away. Great effort there by Murtaugh. Yep. Dominic Murtaugh with a huge catch there, and that's going to make it a first down and 10 for your Massena Raiders. Pretty good crowd on hand, by the way, for a 1:30 kickoff. Especially a 1:30 kickoff that got going at 1:24. Got to remember that. But anyway, 5 minutes and 42 seconds left to go here on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. 0-0, but Massena has got the ball now at the, we'll call it 33 of Saranac. Eastwood going to take the snap, going to toss it out to Carter King. Carter King got good blocking. He's going to go to the 30, down close to the 25. Another solid game there for Massena Raiders, and I got to tell you, some great blocking on the outside. But you can't do that without those fellows up front. And it was a mixture of some of our receivers blocking and some of our linemen blocking on that play. But overall, Carter King making it happen, and so is that offensive line for Massena. That is going to bring up a 2nd and 4 here, 2nd and 4 for Massena. Ball is currently placed on the 27-yard line, we'll call it, of Saranac. Eastwood going to put Murtaugh in motion. He's going to toss it to Murtaugh. Murtaugh coming to the far side of the field. Oh, he's breaking free! And he did not get into the end zone, but woo, that was close. That was close. We almost had our first touchdown, Raiders. Very, very close on that play. Again, one of those plays where if you're listening at home, all they're doing is they're just motioning somebody in front of the quarterback, and he just kind of tosses it.
Yep.
And that can be disastrous if you don't do it right, but Massena does that play very, very well.
It looks great.
Yeah, exactly. When it works, it looks great. So it looks like a timeout has been called by Saranac. So now that we have a second to catch our breath, 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play. On the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, it is 0-0, and I do want to give the officials some credit tonight. Head referee will be John Simons. Umpire will be Jeff Reynolds. Line judge will be Wayne Roche. Head lineman will be Nick Moffitt. And back judge will be Marty Miller. So those are the folks who are officiating tonight. I want to thank them for that, by the way. If you haven't heard, Section 10 is in need of officials, desperately, for pretty much every single sport. So as the coaches have been telling me, hey, if you think you can do it better, go sign up. But right now, 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play. It is very, very close to the end zone. Literally, we're on the 6-yard line of Saranac. And the ball is going to be on the near hash. So I would expect something to the far side of the field if they're going to do something. But we'll see.
King for the touchdown.
King is right behind Eastwood. Donnie predicted a touchdown in King's future. Let's see if he's right. Eastwood is looking over to make sure everything is lined up correctly. He is going to hand it off to Carter King. Carter King, yep. Touchdown Raiders! The first touchdown of the 2023 season goes to Mr. Carter King. Yep. John Despa, I think you and I should go to the casino later. You got good luck, my friend.
Well, I wouldn't push it.
Yeah, don't push it. Don't push it. Anyway, 6-0. 6-0 for the Massena Raiders. Carter King with the first touchdown of this season. Again, the senior having only played 2 years of football.
That's amazing.
Took the handoff, knew where to go with it. We got 6 points because of it. Now, let's see what happens here. I believe we're going to see a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, definitely will.
And that is because Massena is currently taking job interviews for kicker. So, job applications, I guess you would say. Eastwood going to drop back to throw, and it is incomplete, unfortunately. So that is going to make it 6-0 on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. Your Massena Raiders up 6-0, giving you something to cheer about early on in this contest. 4:30, by the way, left to go here in this first quarter. So Carter King, I'm writing this down so that I can remember this for halftime. Carter King with the rushing touchdown, and that is going to be at 4:30 in the first quarter. I like to talk things out as I write down. That's
Stat man.
You don't try to be. You are a two-man operation, so we're doing the best we can.
Oh, you're good at the stats, man. I'm a stat man.
But we did not get a chance to really talk about this too much in the pregame for Saranac. The player that you're not going to be able to miss is number 1,
Navarra.
Marcus Navarra. Now, he plays kick return, he plays wide receiver, he plays defensive back, and he is actually a pretty good kicker, as we saw in warm-ups today. He is 6'7". Where's number 1 for Saranac? And that's probably going to be a matchup to watch. And I heard from the coaches earlier that Dominic Murtaugh, is going to be the man who has that job today of covering the 6'7" guy.
Really?
So we'll see what happens. We didn't really see too much, by the way. We saw Navarra get one handoff on that first series for Saranac, but I would expect now that they're getting into the second series, you start going down that script.
I'm impressed by the runners, Massena running backs.
Me too.
Both of them, King and Murtaugh. Yep.
And, it was hard for me not to talk about that during some of the radio shows this week because I did get to see that at practice before everybody else. But I wanted to make sure I kept the secret because you never know what the coaches don't want you to say, right? But anyway, ball's going to bounce here, and it looks like Willett is going to return this for Saranac, and he's going to get taken down here at the 33, we'll call it, for Saranac. So that's where their next offensive possession will start, is again the 33-yard line. So Saranac coming back out on offense. We did make them punt the first time that they were out. And again, they kind of run, I don't want to say they run the same thing because that's not accurate, but they run something similar that Massena does, where they motion that man, then give it to that man, and then try to get to the outside quicker than your defenders can get there.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling we'll probably see that a lot more this season as well.
I love those running plays like that.
Willett is in the shotgun formation. They have got Navarra lined up in the slot. Navarra going to come in for a motion. He's not going to get it, though. Willett going to keep it himself. He's going to try to find some running room up front, but he had a first-class ticket to destination nowhere as he gets hit by number 21 for Massena and Carter King. And I want to make sure I get number 21 right for Massena. That would be Aiden Beckstead in on that tackle along with Carter King. So, again, they kind of used Mr. 6'7" as a decoy.
See that.
And then the quarterback tried to make something happen himself. So right now, it's going to be a 2nd and 10, we'll call it. Willett in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to his running back. And his running back's going to get blown up on that play. Number 2, Topani LeBrake in on that tackle. So is number 72. Give me a second here. Ryland Dodson in on that tackle as well. I'm learning the names as we all are. Obviously, last season we lost 17 seniors, so learning some new names. Unfortunately, a player for Saranac is down. So while that is actually up now, so a very quick down and up there, which, you know what, you do expect that in week 0, unfortunately. 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play. It is going to be a 3rd down and 12 when we resume play. And the Saranac player is walking off under his own power. That would be Logan Martell, I believe. And he was lining up actually at running back for Saranac. So I'm going to write his name down because I feel like we'll be calling it again. He probably just needs a breather. But right now, 3rd down and 12 for Saranac from their 30-yard line. Willett in the shotgun. He's got Navarra down towards the bottom of the field. He's looking that way. He's going to throw it. Oh! And Navarra ended up falling over himself there. And for Massena, that's a good thing.
I thought they'd play it safer, Saranac, for that play. I didn't think they'd pass.
I
didn't think they would.
You know, what's interesting to me, Donnie, is that they keep moving Navarra. Like, sometimes
I noticed that.
Sometimes he lines up out wide.
Like a decoy, like you were saying.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of what we did last season with Deshaun Walton.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, this is a 4th and 12. They're not going to go for it from their own 30, but they are going to punt. So Willett is back there to punt, and back deep is Topani LeBrake. Here comes the kick. It's a good punt. LeBrake has got it. He's coming to the 45, and he's going to get slung down by number 2. It was 2-on-2 there, as number 2 for Saranac tackles number 2 for Massena. Number 2 for Saranac is Connor Coventry. Number 2 for us, obviously, you know, Topani LeBrake. And I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the Saranac kid getting him there, he may have been able to do something exciting.
Yeah.
But still good field position for Massena. They're going to start off at their own 45-yard line. Ball is going to be placed dead center. And we are inches away from that red M in the middle of the Massena football field here. Eastwood has got King by his side. He's got 2 wide receivers down low, 2 up top. Eastwood going to drop back to throw it. He's going to throw it under duress to Garrett Weir. Unfortunately, just a little bit wide.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that was a tough one because your quarterback's under duress. He had 3 people running at him.
Yeah.
And he just tried to throw it at the most accurate ball he possibly could.
And for the pressure he had, very accurate. He's got quite an arm.
He certainly does. Obviously, last year ended the season as one of the ranked players in New York State for the quarterback position in this classification. So we'll see what happens here. 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders here. Eastwood going to put a man in motion. It's LeBrake. He's going to throw it out to LeBrake again on the quick throw. And here goes LeBrake down to the 45-yard line. And I dare say that's another first down Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. And that quick play, that quick throw to LeBrake, because they know he's got that speed, that is going to be something that I think is going to be a staple of this offense all season.
And they beat those defenders, Elijah, like you were saying, right when they were doing those plays. Yeah.
Right. So here we go, 3rd and 1, actually. So we didn't get the first down, but he got 9 yards on that, which is still great. Carter King is going to be directly behind Eastwood. They're now going to put Garrett Weir in motion. Eastwood going to hand it off to Carter King. Carter King coming downhill. Here we go. Carter King dragging people down to the 32-yard line of Saranac. I think we might have a running back, folks. That's going to be another first down Raiders if you're keeping up with me at home. 1 minute and 56 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play. You're looking for the score. Massena is up right now, 6-0. We got the ball. And we are at the 32-yard line. I can make that 33-yard line of Saranac.
You got to check that. Second year, are you sure about that?
So here we go. Eastwood in the shotgun. Carter King by his side. He is going to take the snap. Hand it off to Carter King. Carter King is not going to go down by those arm tackles.
3 yards there for them.
And Saranac is finding that out the hard way. You got some players who are still, trying to figure out, again, this is high school football, so they're still trying to figure out, how do I hit somebody? Where do I hit somebody? I tell you what, though, you better wrap up against Carter King or he will run you over.
I see that, yeah.
1 minute and 14 seconds left to go here in this first quarter of play. We got a 2nd and 7. Carter King now, instead of being behind Eastwood, he's beside Eastwood in the shotgun. Garrett Weir in motion. They're going to give it to Garrett Weir here. Garrett Weir going to the outside. Got a little bit of run room to the 20 and taken down, but that is going to be another first down for the Raiders.
Kind of a sneak play.
We saw it all last season, and what cracks me up about it is I used to think that was a running play because I thought that was a handoff. But then Coach Zappia told me, no, those count as passes. Even though they're just little tosses.
Quick, and that's a pass.
It's a pass.
All right, well.
So, hey, we'll take it. Ball's now on the far hash here. It is going to be 1st and 10 from the 20 of Saranac. Eastwood going to drop back to throw. Going to throw it out to LeBrake. LeBrake is going to try to make a man miss. He's going to still have the ball. He's still running down to the 15-yard line. And I promise you, at some point today, that kid's going to make a big play. I just got this feeling.
Yeah,
I got this feeling. Yeah. He's going to break free for one, I should say, because he's already making big plays, but I think he's going to break free for a long one at some point today. It's going to be 2nd and 4 here. Ball is going to be at the 13-yard line of Saranac. Ball's now on the near hash. Eastwood in the shotgun, King by his side, Weir in the slot, LeBrake in the other slot. Eastwood going to throw it out deep, looking for LeBrake. Does he got him? No! Just out of his hands. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown Raiders. LeBrake was open. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now. 3rd and 4. But that is the end of the first quarter of play, believe it or not. We've already gone through one quarter here at Mike Nicholas Field. We appreciate you joining us. The score on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, 6-0. Massena with the lead. They got a 3rd down and 4 coming from the 13-yard line of Saranac. And now officially we are looking at the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard.
Yeah, Blevins Seaway Motors, your Jeep Dodge, Ram dealer, 98 Center Street, here in Massena.
And of course, North Country Savings Bank, 22 Phillips Street in Massena. North Country Savings Bank, you make it North Country, we make it a bank.
Elijah, any surprises during that first quarter?
You know, for me, I think these teams are still trying to figure each other out. You know, this is a week 0 matchup. Mm-hmm. Usually, this would actually be a scrimmage between Massena and Saranac, but this year it's actually a game, as we heard Coach Zappia talking about in pregame. So it's exciting that this is a game, it's exciting because Saranac's a great opponent, but it's also exciting because they're an out-of-section team. And if you want to get to where... Right, and if you want to get to where you're going or where you want to go, because Massena's got high hopes this year, you got to play out-of-section teams. Because you don't get better beating people 56-0. You got to play those out-of-section teams. And Massena this year, they got 8 straight weeks of football starting today. No bye weeks. 8 straight weeks of football.
7, Sable Valley, right?
Yeah, they've got Potsdam next week, and then they come back for Sable Valley, which is another Section 7 opponent. So, again, battle-tested the Raiders will be this season.
I'm impressed. I think the running game, I can't believe it. I just like, wow.
I remember Coach Zappia saying at practice the other day, you know, Carter King, he's a good one.
Yeah.
Right now, we're back, ready to go to start this second quarter of play at the 13-yard line of Saranac. And here comes Eastwood. He's dropping back to throw. He's got Garrett Weir on the outside. Weir trying to make a couple people miss. Does he get there? He does. Touchdown, Raiders! There you go. Garrett Weir getting in on the action today. That is going to make it 12-0. And, of course, that is Garrett Weir with the touchdown catch. And that it comes here at 11:53. Again, I'm just writing this down so I remember it later on.
And you will remember, too.
I try to remember things.
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest at it, though. But, hey, 11:53 and a passing touchdown there from Connor Eastwood. And it was a nice throw, a really great catch by Garrett Weir. And Garrett Weir made enough people miss and bullied his way into the end zone on that play. So Garrett Weir giving folks here at Mike Nicholas Field something to cheer about today. Also, got to give it up for that offensive line. Good protection there. Right now, they're going to put Weir in motion on this 2-point conversion. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's going to put Weir now going the other direction. Eastwood dropping back to throw. He's going to throw it, and it's going to get knocked away. So that makes it a 12-0 game. And again, if you're wondering why are we not kicking extra points, it's because right now Massena has not quite figured out their kicking situation yet. So 2-point conversions will be what we call most often.
Basically don't have a kicker, right?
Right. They're actually taking job applications. If you want to come down, I've got any eligibility left. I mean, come on down. Anyway, 11:53. That is where we are here in the second quarter of play on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard. It's your Massena Raiders up 12-0 on the Saranac Red Storm. Massena going to be kicking it off here shortly as they're taking a moment. Lots of folks here, by the way, and I'm excited about that. Because, you know, for me, I was saying on the show on Thursday, I think it was, or Friday, all the days run together for me, but I was saying we should make this feel like a playoff atmosphere because this is where, you know, the type of teams we're trying to play against later on in the season. So I say we like I'm on the team, but anyway.
Look at all the kids on the JV squad.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids.
There's a lot.
Lots of excitement right now for this Massena Raiders football program. And, you know, it's not just excitement with nothing behind it. They've actually done some stuff last season. So those 17 seniors laid a great foundation for this year's squad.
Absolutely.
So hopefully this year's squad can deliver. And so far, they are.
And Massena lost 17 seniors.
Right.
So that's...
and here comes the kick here. It's a short kick. It's going to be taken by number 33 for Saranac, and he is going to get taken down by number 8, Cade Frigo, on the play there with the tackle. 11:50 left to go here in this second quarter of play on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard. Again, Massena up 12-0. And let's see what Saranac does here. I mean, obviously they're down 12-0. You know, lots of game left to be played. but it's interesting to see what do you do when you're down by that much. Because they've been trying to run a lot.
They're not doing any running against Massena's defense, no.
Donnie is like the hype man this year. I love it. All right, 11:50. Willette is coming out in the shotgun position. Behind him is number 21, Logan Martell for Saranac. And Willette going to fake it to Martell. Is going to run to the outside. He's got a little bit of running room, and he is going to get hit, but he's still going to get some yards. And they just went from their 40 to our 45 on that quarterback keeper there by Willette. So a good running play there for Saranac. And again, it seems to be the quarterback is, obviously doing some option stuff. He's reading that defensive end. If the defensive end crashes, he knows what to do. Yeah. And it seems like that's what Saranac is doing at this moment in time.
He's a senior, Evan Willette, Elijah, number 8, I believe so. I read where he was a senior.
Evan Willette is, in fact, a senior. Yeah.
Senior, okay. Yeah.
So here comes Saranac with a 1st and 10 from their 44-yard line, actually. Ball on the far hash. Willette's got everybody tight in the formation. He's going to roll out here. He's going to throw it deep, and it is caught after being deflected. Caught by that bad man, Marcus Navarra there with a huge catch. Yeah. That is going to move Saranac from the 44-yard line, from Massena's 44-yard line, down to, and I'm waiting to see where the markers go here, down to the Massena 24-yard line. So that's, I believe, a 20-yard catch. I'm no mathematician, but Eastwood was actually playing defense a little bit, went up to try to knock it down. He did get a hand on the ball, but Navarra, to his credit, was able to concentrate enough and catch that ball. That 6'7" receiver.
Big play by that guy. Yeah.
And I would say that's the first big one.
Yeah.
Navarra going to come to the near side of the field. Ball on the near hash. Willette going to run it himself. He's going to get taken down there by number
54.
Number 8, Dave Frigo.
Okay. Yeah.
For Massena on that play and on the tackle. 10:47 left to go here in the second quarter of play. If you're just joining us, Don Gaspar, Elijah Winfrey on the call for you for WMSA Radio. Massena is up right now 12-0 on the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard over Saranac Red Storm in this Week 0 matchup. You might be familiar with the scrimmage we usually do with them, but this is not a scrimmage. This counts. Right now, Willette is all by his lonesome in the shotgun formation. He is going to motion Martell. He is going to roll to the far side of the field, throw it out wide, and just a little bit too wide.
He was wide
for his wide receiver. Donnie, say it again?
He was wide open.
He certainly was on that play. Number 10 was the intended receiver for Saranac. That would be Scotty Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
So we have got a 3rd down and 9. After that big play, now all of a sudden it's 3rd down again for Saranac. 3rd down and 9. I got a feeling I know who they're going to if they try to throw this ball.
I think you're right.
We'll see. Right now, Navarra is lined up in the middle to the far hash. They're throwing it deep. Here comes the jump ball, and he caught it. No, he didn't. Incomplete pass, but that's exactly what they tried to do. They tried to throw it to the deep side of the end zone. A deep throw to their 6'7" wideout. Can't blame them for trying, but hey, kudos to Massena for having triple coverage on that. Lots of people down there to be able to defend that throw. And Navarra is a little bit slow getting up after that play, so Massena showing respect, obviously, everybody with the kneel down. 10 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here in the second quarter of play. It's going to be 4th down and 9 when we do resume play, and that ball is going to be at the 23-yard line of Massena. Now,
so he's up. He's already.
He is walking up under his own power. Good catch, Donnie. Probably have the wind knocked out of him, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, 6'7", that's a long way to fall.
Tough play. He almost got it.
He almost did catch that, yeah. But here's the thing. It's 4th down and 9, and from what we saw in pregame, Navarra is also their kicker.
Yeah.
And he's on the sideline right now recovering.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Saranac will go for it here.
How much to go? Would be 4th and
4th and 9 from the 23, I want to say, of Massena. Ball in the middle of the field.
Kick it.
So I wonder here. Now, if Saranac calls a timeout, I believe Navarro could come back out, but they're not going to do that right now. Instead, they're going to line up here. We'll let in the shotgun, and that's going to be a false start on Saranac. So whatever they were trying to do was not clearly communicated to everybody on the team, and they get a false start because of it. So that is going to back them up even more, and what was once a question, I think we got an answer. I'd be shocked if they try to do this from here, but at the same time,
Fun, I believe that. Yeah.
Maybe punt it. I don't know, but it looks like they're lining up to go for it.
They are.
4th down and 15 here from the 28-yard line of Massena. Willette, he is going to try to throw it. Yeah. He's going to throw it out wide. It is caught by number 11, Saranac, and that's going to be a first down on 4th and 15 for the Red Storm.
Yeah.
Number 11, let me figure out who that is. That would be Cody McDuff-Taylor for Saranac Lake with the clutch catch there on 4th and 15. Show me what I know, I guess. But anyway, 10 minutes and 2 seconds, and the clock is rolling here. And, again, you got a fresh set of downs here for Saranac. Not bad coverage, by the way, for Massena on that play. It was just a contested catch, and their guy came down with it.
Yeah.
Not much you can really do about that. Ball is going to be near the far hash. And it looks like Massena is going to call a timeout, I do believe. Yes, Massena is calling a timeout.
Good move by Massena.
Yeah. I would agree. Because I thought for sure we had that sewed up on 4th and 15. But, hey, kudos to their quarterback, Willette, and their wide receiver, McDuff-Taylor, who ended up coming down with that catch. And, great throw by Willette for Saranac. So right now, Donnie, 9:38 left to go here in the second quarter of play. Ball is currently on the Massena, I want to say 14, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm looking here, and Massena's currently talking things over, obviously, during their timeout. But for Saranac, this is definitely their best drive that they've put together today. 9:38 left to go here in the second quarter of play. If you're just joining us on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard, it is Massena 12-0 right now over Saranac. Defense backed up in a position, though. So we'll see what they can do here. How resilient can our defense be?
Down, they'll probably run the ball a couple plays, I would say.
We'll see. It's actually going to be ball at the Red Raider 5-yard line. So we'll see how this Raiders defense does here. They're going to put their guy in motion for Saranac. Willette going to try to find a lane himself. He is going to run in and get hit towards the goal line. It's going to be a touchdown for the Red Storm. Willette with a rushing touchdown there for Saranac. And that was, again, just one of those plays where their quarterback, gets the snap, tries to find himself a lane, and gets there.
Now we'll see what he...
Is he going to come back out?
He was pretty good, really good practice. Now he's out, Elijah. Yeah.
So we will see here what happens. As Donnie just told you, Navarro is lining up to kick this extra point, so he's back out there, the 6'7" senior for Saranac. Hold is down, kick is up. It is good. No question about that. You might want to go to the baseball field because I think that's where that ball went right now. My goodness. 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
He was doing that.
He was doing it in practice, too. But, I mean, I thought maybe it'd be different in the game. You don't have as much, going against you.
Yeah.
But with the Navarro extra point there, that's going to make this game a little bit more interesting. 12-7 now is the score. Massena still with the lead. But Saranac with the latest touchdown in this contest, a Willette rushing touchdown from their quarterback. And that was after a 4th and 15 completion for Willette. So he not only got them that first down with his arm. He got them the touchdown with his legs. So that's kind of what you want from your quarterback there. But for Saranac, they're still down 12-7 to Massena here. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in this second quarter of play. And the players are coming back out here on the field now. By the way, for Massena this year, I just want to point out, it helps when you look good. I think Deion Sanders once said, look good, play good, right? Something like that.
He did.
But Massena has got some sharp-looking uniforms today. They're wearing their red tops, red bottoms, red helmets, and they got a chrome stripe going right down the middle with their numbers on either side.
This year, right?
It is different, with numbers on either side looking like Alabama out there. So that's interesting to me. So always helps when you look good. And, of course, for Saranac, they got white tops, white bottoms, a little bit of red on the shoulders, and they got their stripe going down their side, their lightning strike, I should say. Here we go. Weir is going to catch it at the 3. He's going to run back here. And Weir finding a little bit of open room as he gets tackled there at the 32-yard line of Massena. A good return there by Garrett Weir.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Garrett Weir, by the way, is and I'm going to make sure I get this right, a senior. So he is showing up big here at the first game of his senior season, already with a touchdown catch today, and he's obviously doing some kick return duties for us as well. But Massena will start with the ball at their 31-yard line. And it's supposed to be first down, but the marker says second. We'll see what happens with that. Right now, Eastwood has got 3 wide receivers towards the bottom of the field. And I think Saranac actually took another timeout.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're down to 1, if I'm not mistaken. And now the marker says first down like it's supposed to. So there you go. 9 minutes and 23 seconds left to go here in the second quarter of play. Again, on the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard, it is Massena up 12-7 over Saranac. And they're going to be starting this drive at the 31-yard line with the ball in the middle of the field.
I think Massena just keep doing what they've been doing right now. They're still early, so.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Yeah. That's I think, everybody's point of view. But I will say that earlier in warm-ups, Eastwood was throwing 30 to 40-yard passes. And we have not seen that big throw try yet, other than the one time to LeBrake, which almost was caught.
Yeah.
So here at this 30-yard line, first down, maybe they might take a shot here. We'll see. Down here toward the bottom of the field, they do have LeBrake out there, I do believe, on the inside as a slot receiver, if I'm not mistaken. But Eastwood's in the pistol. He's got Carter King behind him. Here we go. He's going to toss it to Carter King. Carter King coming to the near side of the field, and he is going to get wrapped up and taken down. Not as many yards that time. He had a long way to go.
Down easy.
He is not going down easy, that's for sure, but he had a long way to go on that run before he actually made positive yards. So if you're listening at home, a lot more east-west than north-south.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the Raiders decide to adjust with that. 8:55 and counting here because of the running play. The clock keeps moving, as you know. Massena up 12-7, ball at their 30-yard line. So it actually looks like it was a loss of a yard, maybe a gain of a couple inches, I'm not sure. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's got King beside him. He's going to put Weir in motion. We're on the near hash. They're going to throw it near side. Not a whole lot of room there. We're going to try to make some room, and he is going to make some room here as he gets close to a first down. I don't know. Will they give him a first down or not? We'll see. It looks like they are. They are moving those chains. The first down Raiders. 8:29 left to go, and that was interesting because you're already on the near hash. You throw it near side, so there's not a lot of room. It's really compressed down there. But Garrett Weir,
A lot of speed.
had enough speed to figure out, make his own path, right?
Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Right.
Ball on the near hash. We've got 3 receivers to the top side of the field. Eastwood going to hand it off to King. King going to bang it up inside. And he's going to get pushed back, but his forward momentum is going to give him about a 3-yard gain on that run.
The D's starting to key on him.
I think so.
As the game goes on, yep.
8:10 and counting. On the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard, 12-7 Massena right now over Saranac.
What do we got coming up halftime?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that far yet, my friend, but I am excited about where we are so far.
Yes.
LeBrake is going to get the little pop pass there, and he is going to get about 3 to 4 yards there. Again, they motioned LeBrake, just gave it to him as he passed the quarterback's face, just a little toss, which does count as a pass again if you're keeping track at home. And he was able to turn it upfield and get about 3 to 4 yards. A play that we saw last year done a lot by Deshaun Walton.
Mm-hmm.
This year being done by Garrett Weir, being done by LeBrake. I think we saw Murtaugh earlier in the game take one as well.
Yeah.
That is one that is a staple of Coach Zappia's offense, obviously. 7 minutes and 9 seconds and counting here. Ball in the middle of the field at Massena's 45-yard line. Eastwood in shotgun. He's looking over, making sure everything is set right. There seems to be some confusion, though, for Massena. So it's going to be a timeout for Massena. And with it being a 3rd and 7, smart decision there. Take a timeout, make sure you know what you're doing, and then go.
Last timeout from Massena? Or?
I think they got one left, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong on that. 6:53, that's where we are right now in a game that's been pretty entertaining here for this Week 0 matchup. And you know what? Not a whole lot of flags. In fact, I'm trying to remember. I think we had 1 flag so far. So that's pretty good.
Fumbles, right?
No fumbles yet. Yeah. And no interceptions either. It's been pretty clean on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
One of the cool traditions about this matchup here between Massena and Saranac that I didn't know before the other day is that after the game, the two teams will actually eat together.
Oh, wow, I've never heard of that.
Because they're usually scrimmage opponents, so they do that every single year after the scrimmage. They all get together and eat a nice meal and thank each other for the competition.
Absolutely.
And they're going to do that after this game. So I think that's fantastic. You don't hear that a whole lot. So that's pretty cool stuff.
Great sportsmanship.
3rd and 7 from the Massena 45. We're in motion. We're going to run it the other direction now. And Eastwood is going to have to eat the sack there.
Yeah.
He was going to throw it to Weir. Ball came out of his hands as he was going to throw it.
He covered it.
And he ended up falling on top of it, luckily.
Yeah.
So that is going to make it 4th down now, and Massena, for the first time today, is going to have to punt this thing. So 6:53, that's where we're at. And back to punt for Massena. I'm trying to see the number. Cade Frigo, number 8. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We got people up here in the press box. There are spotters. Oh, a high snap here. Frigo going to kick a nice punt. And that is going to get caught by the backup quarterback for Saranac, who's got some speed. And he is running here to about the 48, I want to say. Oh, there's the flag. See, I just had to open my mouth about how we didn't have any flags, and here they come. But something on the sideline over there was not to the referee's liking, and so there is a flag on this play. We'll see what the flag is and try to let you know. Probably a late hit out of bounds. That's what I'm being told. We do have up here in the press box, I do believe, one of the best to ever do it at the referee position, Mr. Vic Perry. He's down there. Of course, now that I said that, he's going to get all sorts of autograph requests now. People are going to come up to the booth wanting to get in. You can't get in. Vic's in here. Come on now. 6:41 is where we are right now. Vic Perry, of course, also a very prominent figure for WMSA Radio. That's why we always give him a hard time anytime we see him. But 6:41, that is where we are here in the second quarter of play. Looks like a face mask penalty was the issue there. And so that's going to give Saranac a little bit more of an advantage here as they're going to start their next drive here at the Massena 37, we'll call it. Ball on the far hash. They're going to put Navarra in motion, and we're going to stop all play here because I didn't see a flag, I don't think, but I did see – actually, there is a flag on the play. So what is the flag, I wonder? This is where we need to, Donnie, you and I need to hire somebody to read lips because there's no microphones for the officials, so it makes it difficult. But I believe it was a false start, if I'm not mistaken, either a false start or a legal skip.
It's false start. But,
on Saranac. And he wasn't set. That was the issue. Motion man was not set before the snap, so that was the issue. 6:40, that's where we are right now on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard. Massena 12, Saranac 7. Saranac going to put Navarra in motion for them. They're going to hand it off, though, to Montel, and he is going to get close back to the regular line of scrimmage there, so that was good for them, before he is tackled by a whole host of Red Raiders on that play. 6:19 and rolling here, as that was a running play. And for Saranac, they have got the ball now at the Massena 39-yard line. 2nd and 11 for them after they got back a little bit of that penalty yardage. Ball on the far hash. Navarra, for folks who are wondering where the 6'7" guy is, he's lined up in the slot. Now he's going to motion. And Willette's going to throw it to the near side of the field to number 2 for
nowhere to go.
Saranac, and he is hit big by number 10, Garrett Weir, on that play. He said, I hope you like the yardage you got because you're not getting any more. Garrett Weir with a big hit there on number 2 for Saranac. That would be Connor Coventry there for Saranac with the catch. 5:28 and rolling here. It's 3rd down and 10 now. And for Massena's defense, not to sound like a broken record, but you know they're looking out for where is the tree. That's what Donnie and I were joking about, pregame. We've never seen a 6'7" high school player. So you figure out where that guy is and, watch out. Right now he is lined up in the slot towards the top side of the field.
He's going to.
Willette going to roll that way. He is going to throw it to Navarra, and he is going to get that pass broken up by Murtaugh. Dominic Murtaugh. And Dominic has got a tough task today. He's covering that guy, but he was on him like glue on that play. So good job by Murtaugh there with a huge pass breakup. Now, that's going to bring up a 4th down.
And they probably will go for it knowing what we've seen a lot.
Well, see, that's the thing. Most teams, I would say 4th down in a country mile, you might want to punt, but not them. 4th down and 10, that's where we're going here. 4th down and 10, ball at the near hash on the Massena 38-yard line, and they are looking like they're going to punt this time. But now there's flags.
Yeah.
So hold everything. We've turned into Flagapalooza all of a sudden.
Oh, what is it?
Flagapalooza. That's what I said last year. As a joke. Listen, you got to call the game. If there's a penalty, you got to call it, right? But, hey, that is going to go against Saranac. So you definitely got to call that because Raiders fans want those, right? So Saranac going to back up a little bit more here, getting themselves more room. Not intentionally, though. Sometimes you see teams do that intentionally. They'll say, I'll take the delay game to, get more yards to punt. But they weren't doing that on purpose. I can promise you that. But right now, they're going to line up their punt again for Saranac. And back deep for Massena, I believe, is LeBrake. Stephanie LeBrake back there deep. And here comes the kick. And LeBrake has got it, and he got it with a full head of steam. Here we go. LeBrake is running to the 25-yard line. And I'm telling you once again, folks, Stephanie LeBrake, that is a name you're going to want to remember this season. Last year played a little bit, but was mostly the JV quarterback. And I say that with all due respect because he went 8-1 as the JV quarterback last year. So he's got talent. And also, I didn't see the number of the player, but I just want to say Massena was very close to blocking that punt.
Very, yes.
So want to give them some credit as well. Again, I'm sorry I didn't catch the number because I was looking downfield, but we were close. We were close on that one. Massena is going to start this next possession with the ball on the far hash at their own 25-yard line. Eastwood going to put Weir in motion. They're going to give it to Weir. Weir trying to come near side here. He's going to get dragged down by number 10 for Saranac, and another flag has coming out.
Yeah.
And it could be face mask, could be horse collar. I'm not sure, but I think it'll be good for Massena. We'll see. Number 10, by the way, for Saranac, that would be Scotty Nicholas on that tackle. And you might notice, and this is not anything new for Section 10, but you might notice that you do have a lot of players who play offense and defense.
Wouldn't be unsportsmanlike, right?
No, I don't think it would be unsportsmanlike, but I believe it'll either be probably face mask or horse collar. I'm not really sure, but they're moving the ball from the 25 up to the 31. Or 33. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's going to put Weir in motion. He's got it. He's going to hand it off to Carter King. Carter King going to move up inside, try to get north and south as quickly as possible, and I think he may have gained 2 to 3 on that carry. 4 minutes and 21 seconds left to go here in this second quarter of play on the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard. Again, it is Massena right now with the lead over Saranac, 12-7, but right now they got a 2nd and 4 that Massena is facing. Ball is towards the near hash, kind of in that middle-ish of the field. And right now, Massena's coming out in their shotgun formation. They're going to put LeBrake in motion. Eastwood has got it. He's going to look deep. Here we go. Murtaugh is down there, but he's going to throw it too far out of bounds. I promise you, though, if Murtaugh had a chance at that, I think he would have caught it. But unfortunately, it was about 3 yards out of bounds on that. They tried a sideline throw, a whole shot throw, if you heard the pregame earlier, trying to go up, trying to go vertical on those sidelines against this defense. But unfortunately, just a little bit too far out of bounds on that play. That is going to bring up a 3rd and 4 if you're keeping track at home. 3 minutes and 48 seconds left to go here in this second quarter of play. Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard reads Massena 12, Saranac 7. Here we go, 3rd and 4. Eastwood going to toss it over to Carter King. Carter King going to get north and south. He is going to bang it up towards the nearest sideline. And I'm not sure if they got it. I don't think they did. I think it's going to be 4th and short. Mm-hmm. So, decision time for Massena. You are up right now, 12-7. Got 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the second quarter. Quarterback's back out there, so it looks like the decision has been made.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens here. 4th and very, very short here for Massena on their own 35-yard line. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's got it. He's going to give it to Carter King. Carter King going to bang it up inside. No, down. Here goes Carter King to the 45-yard line. A huge run there by Carter King.
Thought he was going off.
Massena says, crown me on that 4th down play. First down, Raiders.
Oh, you would have been...
What a run. What a run by Carter King. And you can see why these coaches are so excited about him, and also why these coaches are excited about their offensive line, because you can't do that without the offensive line. So, great blocking job by those big fellas up front. First down and 10 for the Raiders on the Red Storm 45. Carter King going to get the ball again, but this time he is, well, for lack of a better term, taken down. He was still running till the very end. He was still running, but they said, you know what, your forward progression has stopped. So,
yeah,
kind of looked like me when I was getting a whooping when I was younger. Keep running.
Very excited to watch this guy.
2 minutes and 38 seconds and counting here in this second quarter of play.
I love it.
On the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard again, Massena up 12-7. And it looks like a timeout here by Massena to figure out what they want to do here on this 2nd and 9 play. Again, the ball going to be at the Red Storm 44-yard line. While we have a second, Donnie, let's thank one of our sponsors, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Seacom Federal Credit Union with locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Malone, Ogdensburg, Plattsburgh, Watertown, South Burlington, and Essex, Vermont. Check them out online at seacom.org and mobile on your smartphone. Yep.
And, of course, we also have the Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition developing plans and strategies that will reduce and prevent substance misuse among youth and adults in our community. They do great work, by the way. They actually have a movie night coming up fairly soon, if I'm not mistaken, where they're going to be taking over downtown and playing a movie.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. And we also have?
MX Fuels, 22 Center Street in Massena, providing quality fuels and service. Great prices here in Northern New York. So, entertaining game.
2 minutes and 29 seconds left to go here in the second quarter of play for Massena. Obviously, you're thinking touchdown. You want to get some
They want it.
And I'm telling you, there's some of these deep throws that are very, very close to being completed for Massena. So will we see one here? I will tell you, Murtaugh and LeBrake are the two receivers to the near side of the field at the bottom. So that right there is a pretty dangerous two-person lineup there. We do have Eastwood in the shotgun. I believe King by his side, if I'm not mistaken. Second down and 9. They're going to hand it off to King once again. King running up the middle. He will not be denied. That is Carter King. And I believe that will be a first down for the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken, or very, very close. Very, very close.
Of his determination.
And that is going to be a first down Raiders once again. 2 minutes and 22 seconds. That clock's going to go here. In fact, it's starting to go right now. But for Massena, Carter King, man, you know, we got ourselves a running back. And right now you have got Eastwood in the shotgun, going to put LeBrake in motion. Eastwood dropping back to throw. He's going to throw it near side. He's got Murtaugh with the catch there. And that's going to get us down to the Saranac 25-yard line. And Murtaugh making another big play. Again, you're going to hear a lot of these Raiders players who play offense also starting on defense. So as we told you earlier, the play that helped get Saranac off the field and give Massena this ball back was by Murtaugh on defense, and they just made a catch right there. 25-yard line, that's where we're lining up here on the 2nd and 3. They're going to motion Murtaugh. Now they're going to give him the ball here. Here we go. Great blocking downfield. Murtaugh running, and there's going to be a flag here. Now, depending on who the flag is on, for Massena, we just got to the 15. But hold your horses, there is a flag. We'll see if that's on us or on them. And Vic is trying to determine that for me to help me out. We're all waiting. Block in the back. Okay, so obviously that's going to be against us. That's unfortunate. But a good run there by Murtaugh. And obviously that's something that you kind of take a mental note of.
Speed.
He does.
Kind of running back. Yeah.
He does. And that's something that these coaches, I'm sure, will keep in the back of their pocket and say, you know what, that play did work. Mm-hmm. We just got to not do the penalty.
Right.
And this is a week 0 matchup. I can't stress that enough. Usually we're scrimmaging right now.
Is that Massena's first Elijah penalty?
I believe that might be second or third. I'm not sure. We don't have a full-time stat guy sitting next to me.
I wish we did.
I wish we did too. But anyway, we'll see what happens here on this 2nd and 9 now. Ball at the, and here we go. Garrett Weir has caught it. He's got a convoy in front of him there, and he is going to get the ball back to the 25-yard line. We were at the 34, I want to say, 33 or 34 of Saranac. Now we are back to the 25 of Saranac for this next play. 48 seconds left here in this second quarter of play here. Massena up 12-7 on the Blevins 2M Motor scoreboard. Eastwood going to put Weir in motion. He's going to toss it to Weir. Weir going to the outside of the field. He's got Carter King blocking for him out front, and he's going to get some more yardage there, and most importantly, get out of bounds. That is important, as that is going to bring up, I want to say, a 3rd and 2, but we do have a player down here on the near sideline, unfortunately. So we'll let them attend to that. Donnie, coming up at halftime, I do know we will be playing some music for everybody for a little bit. Not Love Shack this year. My wife would be very disappointed in me. But we are not playing Love Shack. I'm thinking we might play Leonard Skinner.
Can't go wrong with it.
We might.
Okay.
I'm tempted.
Sweet Home.
Not Sweet Home Alabama.
Your favorite football? No, no.
Yeah, you're funny. You're funny. 35 seconds. I almost said 0 minutes and 35 seconds. Anyway, 35 seconds left to go here in this second quarter of play on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard. Again, Massena up 12-7 over Saranac, and this next play for Massena will come from the Saranac 20-yard line. It is a fresh set of downs for Massena. So we'll see what they do with this. As the player for Saranac is up and walking under his own power. And I don't want to speculate whether, what the injury was. That's not my place to do so. But he is up and walking under his own power, which is the most important thing for you at home. 35 seconds left, as I said before, to go here in this first half of play. Massena up 12-7, ball at the Saranac 20. Could we see a 20-yard throw to the end zone for the break?
I would like it. That would be.
I think we might. I don't know. We'll see. 35 seconds left here, 20-yard line. You pretty much have your whole playbook open to you as long as you can get out of bounds. We'll see what happens here. Eastwood has got King beside him. He is going to take the snap. He's going to look deep. Here we go. Over there to Weir. Does Weir got it? Weir caught it. He caught it. Weir caught the ball. And it is at the 1 yard line, I want to say.
What a catch.
What a catch by Garrett Weir. And I will say, that was not the most pretty ball, but it got there. It got the job done.
Man.
Garrett Weir putting his body on the line, saying, let me catch that ball. Give me that thing. 27 seconds left here in this second quarter of play. Massena going to have the ball at the 1 yard line. I wonder, is Carter King about to get another touchdown? Let's see. Eastwood in the shotgun. He takes the snap. He is going to actually fake it, and he's going to run it himself. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown, Connor Eastwood. Touchdown, Raiders.
Down, but he got in there.
He faked the handoff to Carter King and ran it in himself. There you go. That is a touchdown by quarterback Connor Eastwood. That is his second of the game, by the way, for Connor Eastwood. Now he has a touchdown on the ground and a touchdown through the air, as does the Saranac Lake quarterback. So that's kind of interesting.
Great effort. Eastwood's hard. Wow. Yep.
Eastwood rushing. It looked a little dangerous there for a moment, I will admit.
That second effort.
But he was able to get there. So right now, we got a 2-point conversion once again for Massena. They're going to put a man in motion here. Eastwood going to drop back and look. He's going to throw that way just a little bit outside. So that 2-point conversion is no good, unfortunately. But for Massena on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard, they are up 18-7 over Section 7's Saranac. That should get you excited right there. That's pretty good stuff. 21 seconds left to go here, Donnie, for Saranac. Do you think they're going to try to move it upfield? They do have 6'7".
Very quick. They're just going to go.
You think they're going to go
for it? Yeah.
Or do you think they're just going to run a play and get out of here?
No,
I should say get the halftime.
Well, 21 seconds, yeah, I don't know.
I would say, based on what they've done earlier,
probably go for it.
I think they might try to throw a deep one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it depends on what happens on this kick here, obviously, on this kickoff. If they can get good field position, they might try something.
Navarro would be in the mix here,
And you know what? I haven't seen him return kicks today. I heard that he does, but I haven't seen him return a kick. So we'll see what happens here. Again, 21 seconds left to go here in this first half of play on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard. It is Massena 18, Saranac 7.
Does Massena have any plans for life, maybe not, but getting a kicker?
Yes, they do have a plan in the works to get a kicker.
Games, that kid is critically important.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But the coaches did say they do have a plan. I'm just not at liberty to discuss what that plan is. I'm kind of like a secret agent these days, Donnie.
James Bond?
I wouldn't say James Bond.
You're pretty darn close.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, Massena is going to kick it off here, obviously. They're going to kick it off from their 40. And I do not see Navarro back there on the kickoff return team at all. Ooh, and a squib kick here. And it's going to get picked up by number 2 for Saranac. And we're going to be left with 15 seconds to go here in this first half of play. So, again, field position-wise, they're going to be at their own 35-yard line. Their quarterback, Willette, does have a pretty decent arm. We saw that earlier. And you got a guy who is 6'7". Now, they could just run this ball up the middle and call it halftime.
Yeah.
Or they could try something exciting here. We'll see. But for Massena, I think they know that, and so they're telling their defense, you got to watch out for anything here. Watch out for anything. And I'll be curious to see where Massena's defensive backs line up, how far off the line of scrimmage they line up on this next play.
Yep.
But I will say, overall, and I don't want to jinx this, so I am knocking on every piece of wood in this press box. So far, they've held Navarra at bay.
They have. Oh, absolutely.
It's been other guys for Saranac that have made the big plays.
Yep. We've seen a couple teams.
I'm knocking on wood because I don't want to jinx this about anything here. 15 seconds. That's all that's left here in this first half of the first game of this Week 0 matchup between Massena and Saranac Lake. And Papers are going to the 40. Oh, come on, Paper. You can do it to the 35. Oh, and Eastwood stopped the fun. We had a runaway piece of paper. It got to the 35-yard line. I thought I was going to get to call a touchdown for a piece of paper running away with the wind. He stole my thunder. I don't appreciate it.
Just didn't have the speed.
It did have speed. And it had a good week of practice, that piece of paper did, and it just couldn't get it done.
Oh, that's good.
It reminds me of that squirrel that ran out and, scored the touchdown. I forget where they were. I think they were a good contact. But for Saranac, they decide just to take a knee, and they're going to go to halftime.
So that's it.
That was kind of anticlimactic, going to be honest with you. But, hey, 7 seconds becomes 6, becomes 5, you get the point. And that's going to do it here for this first half of play. At the end of the first half, on the Pleasant Seaway Motor scoreboard, it is your Massena Raiders up 18-7 over Saranac Lake. A great showing, and we will be back to discuss more after the break.
It's halftime for Massena football. To get you up to date on everything that's happened so far, here's Elijah Winfrey and Don Despard on 92.9 WMSA.
That's right. We are back here at Mike Nicholas Field. It is halftime currently of this Week 0 matchup between Massena and Saranac Lake. There's the Red Storm, by the way. I had a little bit of a time trying to figure out, okay, what's the difference between Saranac Central and Saranac Lake? But as if there's any Saranac Lake fans listening right now, they're screaming at the radio because that's their arch rival and there is a difference. But to me, I was trying to figure out who's who. But anyway, we got to figure it out. Saranac Lake Red Storm. That is the team we're playing today here in this Week 0 matchup. Massena has got the 18-7 lead. But before we break down how we got here, we got to thank some sponsors because we wouldn't be here without them. Don, that's why you got the list.
All right. Seacom Federal Credit Union. Locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Malone, Ogdensburg, Plattsburgh, Watertown, South Burlington, and in Essex, Vermont. Check them out online at seacom.org and mobile on your smartphone. Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition, developing plans and strategies that will reduce and prevent substance abuse among the youth and adults in our community. MX Fuels, 22 Center Street, Massena, providing quality fuels in great service at great prices here in northern New York.
And we do want to thank all of those sponsors for helping us be able to have this season here on WMSA Radio. Donnie Despa and I, we both agree. We think it's going to be a special year for Massena.
I do.
And, Section 7, I've heard from a lot of people, because obviously, as everybody knows, I'm not from here. but I've heard from a lot of people that Section 7 is like the boogeyman for teams in Section 7.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like we go up to Section 7 and we disappear. Like some of our best teams disappear. Well, guess what?
Yeah, you got Peru and all these, Yeah.
We're not disappearing today. We're here for the fight.
Yeah.
And right now, Massena is leading this game 18-7. Here's how we got here. Carter King scored a touchdown in the first quarter for Massena. Got things going for us at the 4:30 mark in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, at the 11:53 mark, Garrett Weir catches a touchdown pass. And actually, not just catches a touchdown pass, turns upfield and bullies his way into the end zone. He would not be denied.
Yeah. Yep.
Then Saranac gets in on the action. Their quarterback, Willett, who is pretty good, gets himself a rushing touchdown at the 9:30 mark in the second quarter. That makes it 12-7. And then right before the half, we saw Connor Eastwood, quarterback for Massena, run in a touchdown with 27 seconds left to go here in this first half of play, and that made it 18-7, which is where we currently sit here at this halftime juncture. And I got to say, for Massena, they've lived up to the hype. The hype about them was we were 4 games away from a state title appearance last year. And now, Coach Zappia and company have reloaded.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And are right back at it.
17 seniors they lost.
17 seniors they lost last year. And I know there was a lot of people who thought, there was a lot of people who thought that was kind of the end.
Right.
That might be the end. That, okay, well, we got as far as we could, enjoyed it while it lasts, right? But that's not what happened. Those 17 seniors laid the groundwork for what you're seeing today. And if I had a list of those seniors, I would thank every single one of them because they were able to do something last year that motivated those underclassmen to say, let's keep it going. So kudos to those 17 seniors. I know many of them are already off at college, and things of that nature, going on to great successful, stories, whether it be in wrestling or in football. But let's not forget the groundwork they laid. And then as far as this year's team, they took the assignment seriously, and they're out there right now going blow for blow with a Section 7 opponent. You can't ask for much more than that if you're a Massena fan. Right. And again, right now Massena is up 18-7 over Saranac Lake. We got about 6 minutes left to go here in this halftime before the game gets going once again. Don Dessel, I just want to ask you your general thoughts, my friend. I mean, what did you think of that first half?
I love Massena, the way they played overall, defensively, offensively. Great running with, the 2 running backs, Murtaugh, of course, and King. That really surprised me, the running game, Elijah. And Eastwood overall has been very accurate. And I think he just seems like he's the leader of that Massena team. Mm-hmm. Definitely, Connor Eastwood. And overall, defensively, I'm impressed. They seem quick, and they never give up on the play. Massena, they just have that. They want it. They want to win.
Yeah, and I think you're dead on accurate when you were talking about the leader of this team. I mean, he certainly is. I saw that in practice the other day. As I was saying on my show, Eastwood this season, he's not really concerning himself with like the superficial things. Does my spiral look good? He's not worried about that.
Exactly.
He's worried about ball placement because he knows what every football fan knows. If I can not just complete the pass, but complete the pass in a way that gives my receiver to turn upfield and get those yards after catch, we might have something dangerous here.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what we're seeing.
And I think he expects a lot out of the receivers. Take the bull by the horn and, do their job. I'll do mine kind of thing. And that's what they need.
And credit to the offensive line. I cannot say enough about that offensive line for Massena.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only are they ripping open holes for Carter King, they are also making sure their quarterback is clean.
Yeah.
And you don't see that with a lot of high school offensive lines. So that's another thing to be excited about. Now, Donnie,
the underdog heroes,
right, exactly, because they only ever get their name called when they have a flag. So, we're going to try to spotlight some of those offensive linemen this season because they deserve it, and also the defensive line too, because you don't hear a lot about the defensive line unless they, get a sack or get a flag. But anyway, Massena right now, they're up 18-7, Donnie. You and I were talking about it before we came on the air. Do you think they go conservative for Massena's offense, or do you think they say, let's open it up? We got a lead. Let's open it up, and let's work on some things that might come into play later on in the season?
No, I think they're going to be a little conservative. Not a lot. I think they'll keep running. They'll run the ball consistent. They'll do throws, kind of a little about running and passing. It's just a little conservative, not a lot. I think that's the way they'll play it.
I would agree with you. I think they definitely want to get their running game going. I think for Coach Zappia, he knows, we have a bad man back there at quarterback. We know that. We know we got good wide receivers, but we needed to figure out who's going to be the next Colton Hardy, for lack of a better term.
Last year.
Colton was one of the best running backs in New York State last year.
Yes.
So when you lose somebody like that, you got to figure out how do we replace that production. Carter King, man, second year he's ever played ball, and he is out there running over people. So I'm excited about what we might see in the second half. Now, on Saranac Lake's side of things, we opened the game telling you about this 6'7" wide receiver they had, because Donnie and I have never seen anybody that big on a high school football field before.
I think you're going to see Saranac Lake use him more second half of life.
I think if they want to see, this is where it's interesting, though, my friend, because it is a week 0 matchup. So some coaches are less concerned about getting the win,
so they might
more concerned about working things out for later on in the season.
Yeah.
Because this is not a league matchup. Now, with that being said, other coaches are saying, listen, if it's a game, if referees are present, we're going for the win.
That's the way I would.
That's the way I would be. But some coaches,
they're all different.
Everybody's different. So I think if Saranac wants to get back in this game, they are going to go for their 6'7" receiver and try to get him the ball, because they really haven't done that in the first half. Which credit to Massena's defense, because maybe that might be because he's not open.
They were double teaming him.
Right.
Almost came up with it for a touchdown.
I mean, when they threw the deep ball back here, he had 3 Raiders all around him.
Yeah.
So that might be the situation as well, my friend. But again, that's something to kind of watch in the second half. Will they get the ball to their 6'7" guy, or will Massena continue to erase him on defense? We'll see. We got about a minute and 21 seconds left to go here before we start the second half of play. Massena's coming back out. They got Metallica playing. I don't know how they could afford that, but they made it work in the athletic budget.
That's why you shut that window.
Yeah, I have to, because otherwise, we might get hit with copyright infringement. I don't know. I hear Metallica's pretty tough about that type of stuff. But anyhow,
you're right.
A minute left to go here before we get things going once again here from Mike Nicholas Field. If you're here in person, thank you for being here. If you are listening online or on the radio at 92.9 WMSA on the FM side or 1340 on the AM side, thank you. We greatly appreciate you. And we're hoping that we're making this as entertaining as possible for you here. This week 0 matchup for Massena, the beginning of 8 straight weeks of football for your Raiders. No bye weeks.
Didn't we just do this?
For me, it felt like it took forever.
Yeah, I know.
For me, I just waited all winter long. I said, when am I going to get out there again with Don Despaw and call some Raiders games?
Fall time coming up in football, you can't beat that.
It's my favorite time of year.
I know it. Yeah.
And listen, after last night's debacle with my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, I had to have something to make me happy.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, man. So briefly, what happened to my Yellow Jackets was they had the lead at halftime, 28-13, and then they lost the game 39-34 to Louisville. I was in my living room. It was not good.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
It was not good. I was very upset. But today I'm happy because Massena's got an 18-7 lead over Saranac as Saranac comes running back out. And I can't really see the crowd too well, but Johnny Despot's got a better vantage point than I do.
Yeah, good crowd.
So again, for Saranac, their quarterback, Evan Willett, I feel like we haven't talked about him enough, but he has done some good things out there for Saranac. He's got a good arm. We saw that pregame. He was throwing 30, 35-yard passes, accurate passes, in warm-ups, not just chucking the ball up, but doing it accurately. So I'm wondering, at what point do you take the reins off and you say, let's go get this thing if you're Saranac?
See, that's what I would do. But again,
I do know
the strategy will be.
I do know the season is long, and they got a lot of Section 7 teams that they're playing. And a reminder, this game is usually a scrimmage between Massena and Saranac, and after the game, the players from both squads are going to go have a meal together. And I think that's one of the coolest things I heard this week.
That is.
So kudos
They
to
don't
the
go
coach
down and just...
and have a meal. Like, that to me is awesome. I wish more teams did that.
Wow, I like that. I like that. Yes.
40 seconds left to go here before we get things started. And I'm trying to remember who kicked off to who in the first half. It's been so long now. I'm having a hard time.
My memory, don't ask me.
I'm pretty sure Saranac was on offense first, if I'm not mistaken. So that would mean that Massena would get an opportunity here, which is actually awesome because they scored a touchdown last time they were out.
Yeah.
Now they could potentially grow their lead with this drive to start off the second half.
Tell the folks here, come on, what a great deal. It's free to get in here.
Yeah.
You watch high school football on a beautiful day like this, yeah, you can't beat it.
Johnny, just real quick, let's run through these sponsors again.
All right, Seacom Federal Credit Union with locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Malone, Ogdensburg, Plattsburgh, Watertown, South Burlington, Essex, Vermont. Also check them out online at seacom.org or mobile on your smartphone. Also, Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition developing plans and strategies that will reduce and prevent substance abuse, misuse among youth and adults in our community. MX Fuels, 22 Center Street in Massena, providing quality fuels at great prices here in northern New York. So we appreciate all these sponsors making this broadcast possible, of course.
And this scoreboard for the third quarter will be brought to you by North Country Savings Bank. And I'm looking, and Massena will receive the kickoff here in this second half of play. Should have wrote that down. Listen, week 0 for the teams. The teams are working it out. Week 0 for me and Donnie, we're working it out too. Okay, mostly me. Donnie shows up. I mean, Donnie doesn't go to practice because you can't practice perfection, right?
The life is tougher than a $2 steak.
$2 steak. Let's go. We got 12 minutes, 12 fresh minutes up on that clock.
In there. Way to be up.
Navarra is going to kick it off here for Saranac. And we'll see how far this kick goes. This guy's got a good leg. Here we go. Here's the kick. Oh, it's an onside kick.
Oh, wow.
And Massena gets on top of it. Donovan Turner there with his thinking cap on. He was able to quickly understand, hey, this is an onside kick attempt, and I got to cover it. Good job by Donovan Turner, number 23 for Massena.
Nice try. Jim. Holy man.
Well, hey, you know, they tried to be the Saints, right? Yeah. But anyway, 12 minutes left to go here in this third quarter of play. You'll see that clock start moving once the play starts here. Massena is going to have the ball because of that onside kick attempt. They're going to have the ball at the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line. So let's see what we got here. Eastwood in the shotgun formation. By his side is King. They're going to put LeBrake in motion. LeBrake going to come out wide for the catch. He's got it, and he gets hit immediately by the big fella, Marcus Navarra, that 6'7" wide receiver, D-back, do everything for Saranac. And, that was good on good there.
Wow.
But credit to LeBrake for holding on to that ball after getting hit. 2nd down and 8 here. Massena with the ball on the near hash. They're going to put Weir in motion. Weir is going to head upfield here. Eastwood going to try to find him.
Wow.
But that's a one-hopper of a pass. And it looked like there was some action in front of Eastwood on that play, right, Donnie?
Yeah.
So a little bit of pressure there by Saranac. Otherwise, I think Weir would have caught that, and it would have been a big, big play for Massena on that. 3rd down and 8, though. That's where we are right now. Ball is at the 43-yard line of Massena, near hash. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's got King by his side. He's going to put LeBrake in motion. He's going to toss it to LeBrake. LeBrake coming near side. He's actually going to wiggle and get I believe, the first down, if I'm not mistaken, on that play. Again, they like doing that, motioning LeBrake and then just throw it to him real quick. So let's see here. I want to say that's a first down, Donnie.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, but I want to say that's a first down. It is, in fact, a first down. John Simon saying, yep, let's move those chains, our head official for today. So that is going to make it a first down Raiders, ball at the 50. Near hash. We're in motion. Eastwood's got the ball. He's dropping back. He's looking for, he was looking for Weir, but Navarro jumped in front of it, and that was almost a very dangerous play for Massena on that one. Navarro reading that play good.
He's a dangerous player, Navarro.
I think you might hear about him a lot this season, the senior for Saranac. Again, not just because of his size. I don't want to make it sound like it's only his size. Yes, he's 6'7", but he knows what to do with it. That's the most important part. He's also a multi-sport athlete for Saranac, if I'm not mistaken. LeBrake in motion. They're going to give it to him as he comes across the quarterback's face there. And LeBrake is going to get upfield. And a pretty decent game there, I want to say. And it was just first down, but the marker says third down, so I'm a little confused at what's going on there. But the scoreboard is also saying third down and 4, so we're going to go with what the scoreboard says. Third down and 4 here for Massena. Ball at the 43-yard line, we'll call it, of Saranac. King has got the ball. He's going to run it up the middle. No doubt about it. He's got the first down. Carter King there running hard once again. And that is going to move those chains for another Raiders first down. And the Raiders will run their next play, obviously still in Saranac territory, from the 39-yard line. As Donnie said, they're not wasting any time. They're already up to the line here. Massena with a 18-7 advantage over Saranac. Eastwood going to hand the ball off to King. King going to get hit by big number 71, and he's going to get pushed back. We got to give that big fella some credit for Saranac. Who is number 71? I know you're wondering at home. That would be Andrew Gay for Saranac. He got back there and gave him a big old bear hug. So there you go. That is going to make it a second down and a little bit longer now, as that play was kind of stopped in the backfield there. 9:20 and counting here in the third quarter of play on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. It is Massena 18, Saranac 7, second down and 11 from the Saranac 41. Ball on the near hash. Eastwood, and what I consider the pistol. He's got Carter right behind him. He's trying to draw Saranac off. They almost jump. And now I believe Massena is calling a timeout. They are. So trying to draw them off with a hard count there on 2nd and 11. And they almost jumped. It looked like they almost did for a minute, but not far enough for a penalty. And again, I just want to throw this out there. You know, so often as fans, we always give referees a hard time. But I just want to remind you, here in Section 10, you know, these referees are doing everything they can to make sure these kids have games this season and every season, and they are in need of more people to be officials. So if that is something that you want to do to give back to the sport you love so much, I would definitely encourage you to get a hold of those folks at Section 10 because, again, they are in desperate need of officials.
Without the officials, you're not having a game.
Right, exactly. You have a scrimmage, and nobody wants to have 10 scrimmages. So just saying. 8:54 left to go here in the third quarter of play. 2nd and 11, ball on the near hash. I'm trying to see here. I see Garrett Weir is down towards the near sideline. LeBrake is in the slot towards the far sideline. We're now going to motion towards the far side of the field. Eastwood going to hit him, and he dropped it, unfortunately. Hit him right in the hands, but unfortunately just a little too much mustard on that one. And that's going to be incomplete. Now, had he caught it, I do want to point out he did have some blockers in front of him, but he also had Navarra staring him right in the face.
There you go, right? Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Don Despal, but I've never been hit by somebody that's 6'7", 200 pounds.
I wouldn't want to.
That's not something I plan. That's not a life goal for me, you know? It's not on my board, my vision board at home. 8:49. That is where we are here in this third quarter of play. 3rd and 11 here for your Raiders. Let's see what they can do here. Ball at the Saranac 41-yard line. Eastwood in the shotgun. He's got it. He's going to look to throw. He's got a man. Oh, it bounced off his hands.
Oh, boy.
Murtaugh. Bounced right off his hands. That was one of those things where you got to catch it first, then run. But again, it is week 0. A reminder, sometimes that happens. How many times do you see that in the preseason this year for those NFL athletes? All the time. And then once they get to week 1, it's like a switch, gets, switched on and they don't drop anything. But here we go. It's going to be 4th and 11 here. I'd imagine Massena's going to punt it. They're lined up to punt it. Frigo has got it, but it's actually going to go over his head. But this play is going to get stopped. Thankfully for Massena, it's going to get stopped in advance because we had a guy false start. So that was almost disastrous, but thankfully we got a flag instead. One of the few occasions you might actually be thankful that your team gets a penalty. Because that snap went right over Cade Frigo's head.
Yeah.
With no offense to Cade, I think he's like, probably 5'10", 6 foot. That ball was snapped at 6'7". Just saying. 8:42. That's where we are here in the third quarter of play. We're going to try to punt this ball again here with the wind now picking up. That could be a factor.
Oh, yeah.
And Frigo got to kind of run to get the snap. He gets it. It's a nice-looking kick. It's going to bounce at the 5 and go in. It's going to be a touchback. But, hey, with everything, all things being equal, right, thank goodness we got that punt off, because that could have been bad.
Colin Hardy, we mentioned him earlier, Elijah. He was an inspiration to a lot of these players.
I think so.
These running backs, definitely. What he did last year, both of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, it shows it can be done. And,
even seniors left their mark from last year,
And even from teams before that,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
When I first moved here from Georgia, I remember a lot of people saying, there's never a Section 10 team that goes to the state title. But then Ogdensburg did it. Governor did it.
Yeah.
And it makes you start going, why not us?
Why not us?
Why can't we do that?
I think Coach Zappi was saying that last year during the banquet, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So we'll see what happens here for Massena. Obviously, a long road to go. We're just in week 0.
That's a good way of looking at it.
But certainly, why not us here? Massena up 18-7 right now in the third quarter of play. Saranac Willette's got it. He's going to do the quarterback keeper, and he's going to run it up the middle, and he's going to run into a bunch of Red Raiders there. And I think Cade Frigo was the one who was first in on that tackle. So a huge shout-out there to Cade Frigo, making sure that run did not go anywhere for the Red Storm. Second and... I'm waiting to see the scoreboard update here. I believe it might be 2nd and 10. 2nd and 6, actually. And Willette is back there. And I'm looking to see where Navarra is. He's not in on this play. We're going to head to number 22 instead. And 22's got some speed and a first down for the Red Storm. 22, by the way, for the Saranac Red Storm. That would be Liam Nobles. Running back for Saranac, just taking that snap, or not really taking the snap, but taking the handoff, I should say, from the quarterback and turned it up to the far side of the field, got himself a first down.
In this game, Elijah, where they're going to have to start opening it up. Saranac Lake.
I would think so as well, but, I'm looking over at that sideline.
Like future games, you might be thinking, yeah, I get that.
But I'm looking at that sideline, and Navarra is not in on this offensive series. So Willette is out there without his 6'7" receiver, but he's got still some talent. Noble's in motion. Willette going to take it himself. He's going to get hit hard and taken down. Number 5 for Massena. That would be, as I'm looking here, Nathan Goulden with the hit. Willette there with a first-class ticket to destination nowhere, thanks to Goulden.
I was waiting for that.
I'm trying to work it in.
I love it.
We never actually happened.
Really do.
Destination nowhere. That's what I call our defensive line, because they don't let anybody go anywhere. That's right. 6:50. That's what we got going here in this third quarter. That's how much time we got left. It is a 2nd and 12 here. Ball on the far hash. Willette going to throw it, and that's going to be incomplete. The ball, by the way, for Saranac, because I haven't mentioned it in a bit, it's at their own 29-yard line. It is 3rd and 12 now for Saranac from their own 29-yard line. And on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, it is Massena with the lead over Section 7 Saranac Lake, 18-7. So 3rd down and 12 here. And as I've already said a couple of times, I don't mean to sound like a broken record. Actually, now it's different because Navarra is in there. He is in the slot position towards the far side of the field. Bar is on the ball, I should say, is on the far side hash as well. Looks like Willette's going to drop back to throw it. He's got number 10 there, and number 10 is going to get sandwiched between Darian Coates and Dominic Murtaugh there with the tackle. They kind of sandwiched the receiver on that play. That was number 10 for Saranac, which is Scotty Nicholas, who we have called before in this game.
Either way, they're using Navarro, too, as like kind of a fake, kind of a distraction out there. So is it going to blast him or not? No.
It's either distraction or we're just covering him that well that they don't want to try it.
Yeah, it's hard to...
And, as somebody doing the Massena Raiders broadcast, that was almost a block there by number 66 for Massena. Number 66 for Massena, that would be Brandon Barnes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Brandon Barnes there with the almost block. Got right in the punter's face there.
Oh, my God.
And it was not a good kick after that. So special teams for Massena looking pretty good. We just got to figure out the kicker. Because as you know, it's 18-7 because we don't have a kicker right now for Massena. So they are trying to, do 2-point conversions every time they score. So Massena's got great field position right now, folks. They are at the 33-yard line.
Oh, wow.
And Dominic Murtaugh has got it. He's going to bang it up inside, and he's going to get some good yards, as Donnie Despaw just said, down to about the 24-yard line of Saranac. 5 minutes and 39 seconds here and rolling here on this third quarter on this North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, by the way. Massena 18, Saranac 7. Ball is going to be, as I mentioned before, at the Saranac 24-yard line, and this is a 2nd and 1 that we're looking at right now. Ball on the near hash. Eastwood in the pistol. He's got King behind him. He is going to toss it to King near side. King's going to come downhill.
Oh, nice.
He's definitely got the first down, and he's actually carrying the Saranac defender out of bounds with him. So another first down Raiders on that play, courtesy of the King, Carter King.
Man, he's just tenacious. Let's go.
He is putting everyone on notice
Absolutely.
today. As are a couple other players for Massena that maybe last year you didn't hear a lot about. This year you're going to hear a lot about them. Carter King being one of them, Garrett Weir, Murtaugh, LeBrake. I mean, we got players.
A lot of great talent.
So here we go. First down and 10 here. Ball at the Saranac 15. We have got a completed pass out to the far side of the field to Murtaugh. Murtaugh is going to run down close to the goal line, but not in. That pass, though, did get Massena from the 15 down to, I want to say, the 3, if I'm not mistaken. So a great pass there, another quick pass. Just get the ball and get it out outside.
Speed, like Murtaugh's speed.
And I think that's part of the reason why Massena's doing the short passing game, because they have so much speed. Just get it out there to that guy, make it an accurate pass where he can catch a run with it, and there you go. So here we go. First down and 4, apparently. And they're going to hand it off. Oh, a fumble! And I think Massena may have gotten back on it, but there was a fumbled exchange there between Eastwood and Carter King, and Massena did jump back on that ball So that is going to be 2nd and probably 5. But again, folks, they are legitimately within the 5-yard line of Saranac right now. But it is going to be 2nd, and I'm going to call it 2nd and goal. Just to be simple, 2nd and goal. But again, a fumbled exchange there. That's the first time we've seen that happen in Massena today. Hopefully they can do a better job here on this next play. We got Eastwood in the shotgun. Ball on the far hash. King next to him. He is going to hand it off to King. King is going to get hit hard by Gay and brought down. Saranac, they know what we're trying to do, and, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes we have the upper hand, other times they have the upper hand. It's like a boxing match right now. And I do want to remind folks, if you're just tuning in, on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, 3rd quarter, 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to go here, a 3rd down for Massena. Massena's got an 18-7 lead over Saranac Lake. And they've got the ball legitimately within the 5 of Saranac right now. Massena does. So we're hoping they could get another touchdown here. I do want to point out to the audience at home, Eastwood is going to put a man in motion. It's LeBrake coming to the near side of the field. Eastwood had to go low for that snap, and LeBrake has got it. LeBrake is trying to get away, but he just is not able to do it there, unfortunately. So that is going to bring up a 4th down for Massena deep in Saranac territory. Now, right about now is where you might be saying field goal. But we can't do that because we don't have a kicker right now. So for Massena, I'd imagine they'll go for it here because I don't think they have any other choice. But they are up 18-7 though. And again, the ball is currently sitting at the 11-yard line after that last play of Saranac. Ball's on the near hash. Eastwood is going to have a timeout called by Coach Zappia. And I believe that is the 2nd timeout called for Massena. So they got 1 left to go here in this second half of play. But again, Donnie, so far, Saranac, you know, they're getting a little stingy down there.
It's 3rd, you said?
This is 4th down.
4th. How many yards?
12. But again, we don't have a kicker, so we're going to go for it.
But a long pass, yeah.
I mean, I like our chances with that. I certainly would agree with that.
I do. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Saranac, you know.
Think they'll run it, or do you think they'll pass it?
I think they kind of have to pass it, but my main point is credit to Saranac a little bit. I know we're the Massena broadcast, but listen, like we try to play it right down the middle and be fair.
Yeah.
Right now they're being stingy. And they haven't really had that opportunity to be stingy yet in this game because they've been giving up big plays. So now they're stingy. We'll see if we can overcome that on offense. We'll see.
Coach Zappy is going to do here, so.
I do know the ball's going to be on the near hash, so I would expect if they're going to do anything, that if they're going to throw it, that they might throw it to the far side of the field, but we'll see. Carter King is right next to Eastwood. This is a big one, 4th and 12 for Massena. Eastwood's got the snap. He had to kind of go back for it a little bit. He is rolling to the far side of the field, trying to find anybody wide open, and it's going to get knocked down in the end zone. A turnover on downs, and Saranac stands up tall and says no more to Massena. 2 minutes left to go here in this 3rd quarter of play, and that is a play that could give them some momentum moving forward. But again, for Eastwood, you know, whenever he caught that shotgun snap, he had to catch it one-handed instead of it being where it normally would be. So that already sets you off schedule. And then when he was rolling out to the far side of the field, he's just trying to find anybody open, and he kind of had to throw it back into the briar patch, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a dangerous pass. Yeah.
But for Saranac, they get the ball back, which is good for them, but they get it back deep in their own side of the field. They got the ball at their own 12-yard line. Ball on the near hash for them. Willett in the shotgun. He's going to get the snap. He's going to hand it off to number 22. 22 going to the far side of the field. He's going to get taken down to Payne LeBrake with a huge hit there and drag down that Saranac runner, number 22, Liam Nobles. running that play there, and LeBrake said, hey, I see that you got a first-class ticket to Destination Nowhere. I'm going to take it down right now. That was a heck of a hit there by LeBrake. And if LeBrake doesn't get him,
That's a great game.
If LeBrake doesn't get him on that play, he's got some yards there. So here we go, 2nd down and 12 after a 2-yard loss there from your Massena Raiders defense. They're going to hand it off once again to Nobles, but that play didn't look right from the start, and there's a flag on the play. And I believe that's going to go against Saranac, so that's going to back them up, I do believe. But I'm looking here, and I believe that is declined, if I'm not mistaken, by Massena. 1:11 left to go here in the third quarter of play on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. It is Massena 18, Saranac 7. Saranac with a 2nd and 12 here from their 10-yard line, we'll call it. So you're kind of tempted to maybe try one here, Donnie, but at the same time, it could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, they seem to be a little conservative.
I would agree with that. I think
I thought they would be.
But here's the thing, though. I'm so used to, as a Georgia Tech fan, as a Detroit Lions fan, and I promise this is going somewhere, folks. I am so used to Calvin Johnson, and when they had Calvin Johnson, they would manufacture ways to get him the ball. Now, that is college and NFL.
Too.
And like I said, that is college, that is NFL. I get that. But how often in high school football are you going to have a 6'7" guy and not try to get him the ball? Like, I don't understand that. I mean, good thing for the Raiders, right? Good thing for the Raiders that they're not trying to do that. But it's just, to me, I feel like they would have had more deep passes or more deep passes.
That's what I expected. Yeah.
Well, right now it is 2nd and 20 for Saranac. They're going to put Navarre in motion. They're not going to give him the ball, though. They're going to hand it off up the middle, and that's not really going to go anywhere. Big hit there, and I'm trying to see the number. 71, Jake Lindstad in on that tackle for Massena. A big hit there by Jake Lindstad to stop them in the backfield, and I think they just went further back, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go, 42 seconds and counting left to go here in the third quarter of play on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard. It is Massena 18, Saranac 7. And this is going to be a 3rd and 19 here. Now, all due respect to Saranac, they did complete a 4th and 15 earlier.
That's right. Yep.
So let's not act like they're, inept on offense. They have been moving the ball. I'm just shocked that they're not doing so more with their 6'7" guy.
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yep.
But we do have 5 seconds left to go here in the third quarter of play. 1 second, no seconds. There you go. That's going to bring the third quarter to a close. Put 4 fingers up, Massena. We're in the fourth quarter. And right now, on the North Country Savings Bank scoreboard, your Massena Raiders 18, Saranac 7, as we head into the fourth. Johnny Desmond?
Yeah, so entertaining third quarter. Not much happening in that third quarter, Elijah, especially with Saranac Lake. And they're using Navarre in different positions, but I thought, as a receiver, I thought you'd see much, go for it kind of situation.
And again, as you and I talked about pregame, they were practicing throwing 35-yard verticals to him, and he was catching them.
Yes, yeah.
Now, that's against no coverage. I get that. Okay, the quarterback's got no pressure. Again, I get that. But when you have that type of matchup, I just don't know why you wouldn't exploit it.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
But, hey, kudos to Massena, because I will say the one time they tried it,
maybe that's why.
Maybe. I mean, one time they tried a deep throw down there towards the end zone.
Right.
Massena had 3 guys around.
Yeah, kudos to Massena's defense. They had them covered. Yeah.
And again, last season, Massena did not give up a whole lot of points at home.
No.
In fact, they gave up less than 100 at home.
We had some great games last year.
So Jim Morrill and that defense deserves a lot of credit for Massena.
Absolutely.
You know, Coach Zappia runs the offense. It's my understanding Coach Morrow runs the defense. And he's also got Michael Gardner over there. There's so many coaches who are involved for Massena. And that's another thing, you know, as I was talking about on the show on Friday, you know you have a good program when you have alumni coming back to the program, volunteering their time. You know, how often do we hear from all these different organizations, we can't find volunteers? Massena football does not have that problem.
Oh, they're lined with them.
They're lined with coaches. So
8 or 9 of them.
That to me says that Massena understands we got something potentially special here, and we might be in our window to do something that hasn't been done here in a long time.
Massena's always been blessed, Elijah, with that. They've always had plenty of people to chip in there, assistant coaches, anything to contribute to the team. You know? 3rd down and 19 here. Willett going to drop back into his own end zone. He's going to throw it deep. He's trying to get Navarro, but a miscommunication, I would have to say, because Navarro was running a post route, and he just threw it straight up vertical. He did miss that one. I just missed that one.
So they did try to get it to him.
Yeah.
And I promise you, there's no Saranac coaches here in this press box, as far as I know. But they did try to get it to him, but he, again, had 3 Raiders around him, and he went post, and the quarterback thought he was going vertical. So kudos to Massena's defense, and also helped out a little bit by kind of an inaccurate ball. But right now, we're in the danger zone. This punter, Willett's going to try to punt it from his own end zone. It's a pretty good kick. LeBrake has got it from the 40. Here comes LeBrake. Could this be that big play I was alluding to earlier as he runs it down inside the 20? Fielded it up the 40, ran it back inside the 20, and I thought he was going to the house, Donnie Despaw.
It looked like it.
But instead he went to the front porch, and we'll take it. So Massena's offense going to come out here with good field position as they will have the ball at the 18-yard line of Saranac. Now, last time Massena had this opportunity, I don't want to say we squandered it, but I want to give credit to Saranac. They stuffed us out of the end zone.
Another touchdown by Massena, then you're going to see conservative.
I don't know about that, though, because I think they're having fun.
If it was me, and I'm obviously not a coach, I don't like the conservative way of coaching. I'm more like play to win.
In all fairness, though,
Bill Belichick?
If Section 7 was, putting it on Section 10, Section 7 would pour it on.
Yes, they would. Oh, yeah, we know that.
So Section 10 right now is putting it on Section 7. I would expect us to keep pouring it on, but we'll see. Ball is at the 14-yard line of Saranac. They're going to hand it off to Carter King. Carter King going to try to get up inside there. He's going to get a couple of yards, but not much. Number 3 for Saranac in on that tackle. Number 3 for Saranac, that would be Owen Moffett in on that tackle for Saranac. But again, we gave it to Carter King up the middle, and he got a couple of yards. And right now, this next play is going to come in from the, we'll call it 16-yard line of Saranac. It's going to be a 1st down and 8 here for Massena. Ball on the near hash. Eastwood in the shotgun. He is going to get the snap. He's going to hand it off to King once again. King trying to run with it, but he's going to get stuffed once again by Saranac. And that is number 8 for Saranac. And on that tackle, leading the way for them, that would be Evan Willett, the quarterback, playing a little defense. As we talked about before, you got some Ironmen out here in this matchup today.
Really keen on him.
And they are keying on him for sure. So 3rd down and 7, 10 minutes and 28 seconds and counting left here in this 4th quarter of play. On the Blevins Two-Way Motor scoreboard, Massena sitting pretty, 18-7 over Saranac. They do have a 3rd down and 7, though, right now. And again, ball on the near hash. Eastwood has got the ball. He's looking towards the far side of the field. He's going to throw it out that way, but it is incomplete. So that is going to bring up a 4th and 7, and you already know we're going for it. It's just a question of what is the play going to be. It's 4th and 7 here. Now, the last time that we were in this type of situation, Massena ended up throwing the ball in the end zone. It got deflected, and that was it. So here, 4th and 7, Let's see what they decide to do. They tried to throw it last time. Let's see what they do here. Ball is on the 15 of Saranac. Eastwood dropping back to throw. He's going to pump fake. Now he's looking. He's going to the far side of the field. Trying to find somebody down there. He's going to throw it. It's caught, I do believe. Touchdown Raiders! On a 4th down play, Dominic Murtaugh.
Great catch.
It's a touchdown catch.
Beautiful.
And Eastwood just bought time. Just bought time with his legs until Murtaugh came open. And credit to Murtaugh for not giving up on that play. A touchdown there on 4th and 7. Murtaugh.
Wow. That was nice. That was nice.
And that makes, if you're keeping track at home, 3 touchdowns for your quarterback today. 2 through the air and 1 on the ground.
What can you say about that play, Elijah? You know,
a touchdown once again from Eastwood to Murtaugh on 4th and 7. Now we line up for that 2-point conversion. It's been difficult all game long. Can we get one? Eastwood going to drop back. He's looking for 2 points. Oh, just a bit outside. So that is going to leave us with a 24-7 lead over Saranac. And I should say Saranac Lake because there is a difference, okay? I should say Saranac Lake, there is a difference.
Outside Plattsburgh.
Saranac Central is a different team, to be fair. But again, Massena pouring it on here in this 4th quarter. I think that's safe to say at this point. 24-7 with touchdowns from Carter King. Touchdown from Carter King. Touchdown from Garrett Weir. A rushing touchdown from Eastwood and a catching touchdown there by Murtaugh, who again just kept running his route. And that's an issue sometimes in high school football where kids will give up on the play if they don't think they're going to get it.
Focus and concentration.
But Murtaugh focused in on that, and he made a tough catch on that play. So you got to give him some credit.
Yep.
And by the way, we've been calling Murtaugh's name out quite a bit today because he's also been challenged with covering that 6'7" receiver from Saranac, and he's doing a great job at it. So Murtaugh having himself a game today. And also got to give credit to the offensive line who gave Eastwood enough time to be able to get out of the pocket and get where he had to go. So overall, a good performance here by your Massena Red Raiders. Job's not done, though. 9 minutes and 58 seconds left to go here in this 4th quarter of play. On the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard, it is Massena 24, Saranac Lake 7.
That makes your coaching staff very happy, though.
I agree so. I think it makes your coaching staff nervous, and then happy.
That was a great game.
Nervy is a new word, by the way. I'm going to write that one down.
I like that one.
9:58. Here comes the kick.
Yep.
Saranac's going to field it here at about the 22. They're going to run it back here, and they're going to get to the Saranac 40. So a good return there by their guy, number 22. And that would be, as I'm starting to learn their roster a little bit, Liam Nobles there with that kick return. 9:52 left to go here in this 4th quarter of play. Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard reads Massena up 24-7 over Section 7 Saranac Lake. A big opportunity here for Massena, as we talked about earlier, to play these Section 7 opponents. They play 2 this year. They play Saranac Lake and they play Osable Valley. That will, no doubt about it, help them get ready for where they think they might want to go this year. And again, I hesitate to put too many expectations on the team, but I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. When you're 4 games away from a state title last year, expectations are high. They are very, very high for this Massena Raiders squad.
In this game, I just think it's just a matter of the coaches, their talent, some of it. And Massena's a more aggressive than Saranac Lake, basically.
Now, this is a different formation that I have not seen before. They've got 4 wide receivers here to the bottom of the field. They're going to throw it to Navarra. Navarra has got it with lead blockers in front of him, and he is dragging some Raiders there. So basically, 3 guys who know they're not going to get the ball and throw it to Navarra and see what he can do, I guess. So, but he is going to get to the 49, I want to say, and he was tackled, by the way, by quarterback Connor Eastwood, who is out there playing a little bit of defense. So, and it looks like there is an injury on the field there. Navarra is down once again. So, Donnie, that's about 9:35. That's where we are right now. Massena is up 24-7.
Commanding lead, yeah. No doubt about it.
And from everything I've seen, it looks like people have good reason to be excited this year. Barr is up, walking off under his own power, by the way.
John gets ready to go find her.
So 9:35.
All factors
and
of the game.
The next play for Saranac will come from the 49-yard line, basically midfield. So we'll see what they can do here as the clock is officially rolling. Willett is back there at quarterback for Saranac Lake. They got 3 wide receivers to the top side of the field, ball on the near hash. Willett going to take the snap. He's going to run it himself. He really hasn't had a ton of running room today on these plays, but they keep trying it. And he did get across midfield, but not much after that, which basically is like a 1-yard run.
I think Massena looks good in all facets of the game today.
I would agree. I think, if they can get a kicker, that would certainly help.
Oh, yeah. Boy, they'll need one when we get to these other games, yeah.
So that is going to be a first down, though, for Saranac. After I talked about how bad it was only a 1-yard run, it's a first down, so take that for what you will. So a first down play coming up here for the Red Storm from the Massena 49-yard line. 8:43 and counting. 11 Seaway Motor scoreboard says Massena 24, Saranac Lake 7. Saranac Lake trying to do something about that, though. As they put a man in motion, they are going to fake the handoff and run it with the quarterback once again. We've seen this play before, and he gets taken down pretty much for nothing at all by Cade Frigo.
He's made some good plays.
Talk about destination nowhere. It is hard to get a yard against this defense at all.
Exactly, yes.
Which is why I affectionately refer to them as destination nowhere. So, 8:08 and counting here in this fourth quarter of play. Second down, Willett has got it. He's going to try to throw a pass here, and LeBrake with a big tackle there. He's celebrating it with his teammates, as he should. Again, no more yards for you.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, they keep trying it, and it just isn't happening. Now, on that play, they tried a pass play.
That was destination nowhere.
That was destination nowhere. Can somebody put that on a T-shirt for me? I'd appreciate it. But again, destination nowhere. This defense doing some big things today against this Section 7 opponent, who, by the way, has got great size at pretty much every single position. They are big boys over there at Saranac Lake.
Yeah.
Willett has got it. He's going to try the other side of the field. Nope, not going to happen as he gets hit as he tries to catch the ball. And hitting him as he tried to catch it, I'm trying to see what that number is. I believe that was Cade Frigo. So they tried the near side, didn't get anywhere.
Great plays.
But here's the thing, Donnie. The last 3 plays, they tried the middle, didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Tried the near side, didn't go anywhere. Tried the far side, didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And when your offensive playbook is go nowhere, that's not good.
That's right.
So that's going to set up a 4th and 11 here for Saranac whenever we get back to play.
Defense too, Elijah, yeah.
But Jim Morrill and that defensive staff from Massena, man, they are playing lights out ball today. I'm sure they're going to say, though, after the game, there's a lot of things they can work on. But when you're winning 24-7 against a Section 7 opponent, you do have to smile just a little bit and then get back to work, you know. We did have a player down for Saranac. He got off the field under his own power. So right now it is 7:14 left to go here in this fourth quarter of play. And for Saranac, they're down 24-7, and they're going to punt. So it kind of makes me feel like maybe Saranac is saying, we don't want to try to make this more interesting. I don't know. But the ball is at the 50. LeBrake is back there for Massena. Well, that's going to punt the ball. It's a pretty good punt. Murtaugh. Oh, Murtaugh tried to catch it, and now he's got it.
He covered it, yep.
He tried to catch it, went through his hands, and then was able to fall on it. Luckily for Massena, that could have been disaster there. almost with a rugby-style play, if you will. But for Massena, they survived that, and they will go back on offense here with 6 minutes and 39 seconds left to go here in this fourth quarter of play. And again, for Saranac, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but it just seems like they are more content to just work on some things for their upcoming season than try to win this game right now.
Obviously, yeah, you can see that. Yep.
But the good news for Massena is they got the lead. So, hey, 24-7 on the Blevins Seaway Motor scoreboard right now. Massena leading. If you're wondering how we got here, Massena opened up the scoring with Carter King with a rushing touchdown. Then Garrett Weir caught a passing touchdown. Saranac Lake answered with a touchdown of their own. Eastwood then with a rushing touchdown. And then Eastwood to Murtaugh with a passing touchdown. That's why we're at 24-7 currently. Eastwood is going to put LeBrake in motion. They're going to hand it to LeBrake. LeBrake coming to the outside here, and he is going to get some yardage here. Now, for Massena, they just ran that play from like the 22-yard line. And for LeBrake, he had to run quite a distance, and he got, I want to say, about 3 to 4 yards on that run. Ran a long way and then got 3 to 4 yards north and south. So we have got a 1st and 11 here, or excuse me, a 2nd and 11 here. So he didn't gain a yard. He actually lost a yard. My bad. 2nd and 11 here for Massena. Ball on the far hash. Eastwood going to put a man in motion. He's going to toss it to that man. It's number 5 for Massena, and he actually got some pretty good yards there. And number 5 for Massena, that would be, want to make sure I get this right here, number 5 for Massena would be Nathan Goulden there running the ball for Massena. And that clock's going to keep tick, 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 ticking, as Chris Berman would say, as they just keep this ball on the ground here. But again, that was a run there by Nathan Goulden for Massena. And Massena up big now over Saranac Lake, 24-7. Ball now at the Massena 35-yard line. Ball in the near hash. Eastwood going to get the snap. He's going to hand it off to Carter King. Carter King going to run downhill. He's got some more yardage there, but most importantly, that clock keeps ticking.
Massena, I'm impressed with that. They've got a lot of good running backs. A lot of good runners on that Raider team.
And they even have some not playing today.
I know.
Gage Charleston, he's back for another season. He has not played. He's in street clothes down there.
Yep.
But, he hasn't played yet. And like I said, they kind of use Weir and LeBrake and Murtaugh as running backs as well when they do those little passes where put him in motion, toss it right to him as soon as he goes across, crosses the quarterback. So they kind of use them as running backs as well. So Massena, lots of talent. Eastwood is going to put number 8 in motion. That's Cade Frigo. Frigo coming to the outside. Frigo making a couple people miss. He's going to get close to that first down. And I think Cade may have got it.
I think he got it.
I mean, we're biased, but I think he may have got it just by, a little bit there. But Cade Frigo saying, hey, fellas, up in the booth, I can run the ball too. There you go, Cade. Good job. 4:05 and rolling here in this fourth quarter of play, and I got a feeling that this is the type of offense you're just going to see for the rest of this game. Massena kind of running it left, running it right, running it middle, just trying to get out of here to keep people healthy. Makes sense.
Yep.
Eastwood in the pistol. 3rd down and short. He had to double catch that snap there. Number 44, Martinez, unfortunately was not able to get going north and south the way he wanted to, and that's going to bring up a 4th down here for Massena. And I'm wondering, will we see a punt for Massena?
At this stage, question, no.
And if you get a punt,
I think you will.
If you punt it, is Saranac going to try to do something with it, or are they just going to run the ball in the middle and get out of here?
I think run the ball and get out of here. That's my prediction.
We'll see. Looks like they are lining up for a punt for Massena. Frigo is back there. So is Garrett Weir. Garrett Weir is back there as an extra protector for Frigo. Frigo's got the snap, a good snap this time. He's got a good-looking kick there, as it's going to go all the way to the Saranac, we'll call it 37. So pretty good kick there, pretty good punt. So with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go here, Don Vespa and I think the fireworks might be over, but hey, we would be happy to be wrong. We'll see, though. But Massena right now, on the Blevins Seaway Motors scoreboard, Massena is up 24-7 over Saranac Lake. And when I say fireworks might be over, I'd love to see Massena get a pick six here.
I would.
Or something like that. All these people came out. All these people came out at 1:30, on a Saturday. We got to make them excited again. And hopefully you will be here to make sure that Mike Nicholas Field is rocking this year, because they have got 5 home games this year for your Massena Raiders. I love it because I live about a mile down the road. So I love the short distance runs for me and Donnie Despot. Yeah. But again, they are 5 home games. This is the first of 5. So we'll see what happens. As Saranac Lake is coming out here, they're going to run the ball. But before they do so, referee's saying, hey, we didn't get enough practice. Let's throw some flags of our own. So there you go. Referee's getting in on the action. I believe that was a false start against Saranac Lake as they're backing up, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, false start against Saranac. And I will say, again, if you are looking to be an official, Section 10 is looking to talk to you. So make sure that you get out there and talk to them. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate that, as these referees are doing many, many games in a week, which I can't even imagine doing that much. Looking here for the next play for Saranac, they're going to run the ball at the middle. And as you would expect at home, it's not going to go very far. Do want to give a shout-out there to number 67 for Massena. That would be Cole Bogart in on the tackle on that one. Big fella, Cole Bogart. He is down there at nose. And Donnie actually spotted him earlier and said, who's that kid? He looks like he can do some damage. Yeah, that was Cole Bogart down there. And right now he's playing nose tackle, if I'm not mistaken. A big running play here for Saranac. They're going to get a first down. And they have changed quarterbacks for Saranac, by the way. They got their backup quarterback in. Yeah. And it's number 6, Zach Gokaz, I believe is how you say that last name. So, backup quarterback in for Saranac. 2 minutes and 5 seconds and rolling here in this fourth quarter of play. Ball is in the middle of the field at the Massena 45-yard line. Saranac, I think, trying to put maybe one more on the board if they can for respect. But we'll see what happens here with this Massena Raiders defense, who has been stingy all day long. We got a runaway paper as well. We'll get to that in a second. As the quarterback Goats is running, he is going to get to the 30, down to the 25. The backup quarterback Goats.
Not ready to give up yet.
Saranac Lake running, and so far, not even putting it in the air, but they've been running it and getting a bunch of yards. Now, I will say, I do believe Massena has got some second string in as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I don't think that would have happened earlier in this game. But, hey, Saranac is driving, so we got to stay on our A game here, folks. Minute and 38 seconds left to go in this one. Right now, Massena up 24-7 over Saranac, who is currently driving. They got the ball right now at the 25-yard line of Massena, and it is a first down and 10 for the Red Storm. Goats is in the pistol. He's going to hand the ball off up the middle. Massena trying to drag down the defender, and they do. Number 64 for Massena, and on that tackle, that would be number 64 for Massena. I'm looking, and I'm not seeing that number on my roster. Oh, here we go. Keegan DeRushy. There we go. Keegan DeRushy with a tackle there on the Saranac Lake running back.
A lot of new players. So
I'm learning them. I'm learning them as quickly as I can. That's for sure. Yep. But for Massena, here in about a minute and 22 seconds, they will be celebrating their first win of the season. And I just want to put this out there to folks at home. Last year, Massena had 3 home games. They won all 3. Winning one today means you got yourself a winning streak at Mike Nicholas Field, a 4-game winning streak. And last year, when teams were here, they didn't even score a combined, between all 3 teams, didn't even score a combined 100 points. So we are something else when we're playing here at the friendly confines of Mike Nicholas Field. They got 5 games here. So here we go. Saranac going to hand the ball out here to number 3. Number 3 going to get hit hard.
He was whacked.
Number 25 for Massena making his presence felt. That would be Dominic Sherman for Massena making his presence felt there on that play. John Despal, what did you see on that one?
I saw. I get hit very hard is what I saw. Wow. Quick play. Quick play. Wow. Yeah, he got smacked pretty hard. We're seeing some aggressive football here today. Wow.
And I'm loving every minute.
And I am too. I love this kind of stuff.
You know, I really thought
wow.
coming into this one, this was a good mile marker type game. And here we go. So, oh my goodness. And it looks like number 23, Turner, he tackled the running back, not the quarterback. The quarterback, Goetz, was able to pull it out last second. And get a touchdown on a long run there. Turner, a little bit overzealous. He actually hit the running back and the quarterback at the same time. I thought he was going to hit both of them and take them both down, but the quarterback, Goetz, for Saranac Lake, he was able to get outside and get himself a 25-yard touchdown run. So there you go. So for Saranac Lake, they're not done scoring. That is going to be a touchdown run there by Goetz, and that comes with 6 seconds left.
The kick with Guevara kicking the ball here for an extra point.
Right now, Saranac Lake trying to make sure they got enough people on the field. They got about 14 seconds to snap this ball here. And will they get this play off? I don't know. Here we go. Here's the kick.
No.
And he got it. Wow. And hit the upright, and he got it. So, Saranac, at the very least, they come out of this thing knowing they got themselves a kicker.
Yeah.
So, but again, that is going to make it 24-14 on the Blevins CY Motor scoreboard. You do have Massena with the lead, 24-14 over Saranac Lake. Again, this is opponent 1 for Massena of 2 that we played from Section 7 this year. You got Saranac Lake and you've got Ausable Valley. Now, you got 6 seconds left.
Now,
I don't want to call for an onside kick because I don't think they're going to do that, but you never know. You never know. We'll keep our options open.
You don't. We saw some stuff last year.
I remember that Adirondack game after every time they scored. I know a lot of people don't want me to talk about that, but I remember after every single time they scored, they did an onside kick. And it didn't matter whether it was first quarter, second quarter, or third. And by the way, by the fourth quarter, we figured it out. They actually can kick it deep. They just didn't want to.
No.
So there was something different about that Adirondack squad. They won, I think, 36-8 last night, if I'm not mistaken, in their first game.
Oh, did they?
If I'm not mistaken.
They're a good team.
But I'd like to forget that game. But anyway, for Saranac, they're going to kick it off here. And who do we got back deep? We got LeBrake and Weir back deep. So we'll see, where does this ball end up going, and do we have enough in the tank to be able to run out this last 6 seconds without having to run out the victory formation? We'll see. Here comes the kick. It is an onside kick. Oh, my goodness. It's like Christmas. And we recovered it.
I thought that would happen.
You know, I feel good. I feel good. 4 seconds left to go here. And they did try it, though. They did try. I don't know what their plan was, though. So if you get it back in 4 seconds,
what's the point?
then you score. Like, this isn't arena football. Anyway, hey, good news for Massena. They're going to get to do the best play in football, I do believe, which is the victory formation. I'd imagine we have that in the playbook somewhere.
Let's wrap it up here.
And this should wrap things up. Let's see. Are we going to run the victory formation, or are we going to try another play? It looks like we're running something from shotgun. Probably Carter King up the middle. That would be my guess. Carter King looks like he's ready to get this ball here. And nope, it's going to be Eastwood, actually, who's going to catch it in a pistol, taking me. And, folks, you're looking at the first win of the season for your Massena Raiders as they are victorious over the Saranac Lake Red Storm. A great job by all sides of the ball, offense, defense, and I'll say it, special teams, albeit without a kicker. Maybe that'll change next week. Keep listening. We'll keep you informed. But again, that brings to a close another edition of Massena Raiders football. We will be back with your post-game report.
It's time for the post-game show. Here's Elijah Winfrey and Don Despot.
That's right. We are back here at Mike Nicholas Field to wrap this thing up. And, hey, it kind of feels like Christmas in September if you're a Massena Raiders fan. You get a victory, but not just a victory, a Week 0 victory, and a Week 0 victory against a Section 7 opponent.
No.
That's got to make you feel good. By the way, the final score of this game, 24-14. That was the final score of this. We'll get into the details of that here in a moment. But first, we want to thank the sponsors, because without the sponsors, we cannot do this for you. So we want to thank them. Johnny Despot, you got the list.
Seacom Federal Credit Union locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, Malone, Ogdensburg, Plattsburgh, Watertown, South Burlington, and Essex, Vermont. Check them out online at seacom.org and mobile on your smartphone. Massena Drug-Free Community Coalition developing plans and strategies that will reduce and prevent substance misuse among our youth and adults in our community. And also, MX Fuels, 22 Center Street in Massena, providing quality fuels at service and great prices here in northern New York. So, again, a big thank you to the sponsors making this broadcast possible.
All right, and again, that last one, MX Fuels, 22 Center Street in Massena, providing quality fuels at great service and great prices in northern New York. Just wanted to make sure we got that because we lagged a little bit there. We did good the entire game, but we lagged a little bit just then. But anyway, do want to talk about what happened in this game. We do have an out-of-town score for you before we go. Saranac Central. Obviously, we played Saranac Lake today. Yeah. Saranac Central played Canton, and Canton got a little more than what they bargained for. The Golden Bears sent into early hibernation, 41-12 in that game. That was a bad one. Bad one. But you know what? Lot to learn from as more teams in our section are doing this Week 0 thing, actually playing a game and not just playing a scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Lots to learn for Canton. Of course, Massena plays Canton at the very back end of the season in Canton, so looking forward to that one. But as far as this game, here's how we got here. Massena opened up the scoring in the first quarter. It was 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go when Carter King said, "Give me that ball. I'm going to find the end zone." He got himself a touchdown there. And Massena, not having a kicker, had to do 2-point conversions almost all day. I don't think we got one.
No, we didn't.
I don't think we got one. So that's why the score is going to sound a little weird to you at home if you're just tuning in. But Carter King got himself a powerful rushing touchdown. Then Garrett Weir caught the ball, turned upfield, bullied his way into the end zone for a touchdown in the second quarter with 11:53 left to go. And that, of course, was a touchdown delivered by Connor Eastwood, quarterback for Massena. You'll hear that name more in a minute. Saranac got on board with a touchdown from Willett, their quarterback, a rushing touchdown with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. That made it 12-7. Then Eastwood decided, hey, anything you can do, I can do better. He got himself a rushing touchdown, and that was with 27 seconds left to go in the second quarter of play. That made it 18-7 Massena. Then Eastwood on a 4th down and I think 11, if I remember correctly, he rolls out to the far side of the field, keeps the play alive, and he finds Dominic Murtaugh in the end zone for a touchdown with 9:58 left to go in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. 24-7, that makes it almost the score of the game. And then, of course, you had Goetz, the backup quarterback for Saranac Lake, who ended up getting a 25-yard touchdown run of his own. That would end the scoring with 6 seconds left to go in the game. Massena coming out with that Week 0 victory, 24-14. As we did a lot last season, we want to make sure to give these kids as much credit as possible because it's about them at the end of the day. And with that, we're going to give out some of our players of the game here, our WMSA players of the game for Week 1. And for offense, we're going to give it to the quarterback, Connor Eastwood. He was responsible for 3 touchdowns today, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Yep. But I also want to tack on an additional extra credit for that offensive line. Because when your quarterback has a game like that, he cannot do it without the offensive line.
Yep.
And without his receivers as well. But I always like to give those big fellas up front just a little extra credit because they never get their name called unless they do something wrong. So, offensive player of the game for us, Connor Eastwood. And then defensive player of the game, me and Donnie were talking about this because the whole defense looked great.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're going to give it to Dominic Murtaugh, our WMSA defensive player of the game. We're going to give it to Dominic Murtaugh. He made some really solid plays out there, and he had the tough task today of covering 6'7" wide receiver from Saranac Lake, Marcus Navarra. And I've got to tell you, folks, for Saranac Lake, I know they lost today, but I got a feeling you'll be hearing that kid's name a lot this season for the Red Storm. But today it's all about the Raiders. The Raiders came out today and delivered a whole bunch of blows. And I'm impressed by what I saw, Donnie, just with the strength of this team.
The team effort, the whole team.
And knowing that we lost 17 seniors last year and still came out and did what we did today. I say we like I'm on the team, but you get my point.
Right, yeah.
They look really good today. Now, next week, they have a road game at Potsdam. We will carry that for you at Potsdam. It's going to be a night game under the lights in Potsdam. I'm kind of excited about that one. And we'll see if Massena can keep it going. Now, last year, Potsdam was more of a speed bump than an actual issue for Massena, but we'll see what happens. It's a new year. And a new year, you never know what you're going to face. But I can promise you one thing. It's probably going to be running the ball at the middle against Potsdam.
Yeah.
Okay? But we'll cover that next week for you. But for this week, as we close this thing out, Massena with a gigantic victory, 24-14 over the Saranac Lake Red Storm. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to send you to regular programming here